so far as to say
I mean, I don't know how you admitted all of that, and then you got a problem.
well, you know what, Logic?
I don't get it, Joe.
Well, you know what, Logic? Maybe sometimes when you start off with a romantic idea of something and then you get hit with the reality,
Yeah, you need to drop that. Hold on, this is one of my
hold
old
on, it
stories.
takes time. It takes time for it to sink in. So, maybe I need a little bit more convincing because when I first started out, I was on a romantic view. Then I got knocked down a couple notches to know that some shit happened that was, not as romantic and pretty as it looked. Now we're going somewhere else. So I might need a little time to accept that this is true. So
Respect
just
that.
give me
I
a
can
little
work with
time.
that. I can work
No,
with that.
no. Just give me a little time. Maybe I'll come around. I'm halfway there. Give me a
Yeah.
halfway mark for even saying that because 6 months
I
ago I
can
would have
work
cut
with
you
that.
out and jumped off of here. You understand? like it's like when you get involved with that fine black woman and you don't want nobody to tell you she's doing nothing wrong. She's the most beautiful thing in the world. Let me enjoy it a little bit before you just ruin my whole impression.
See, Chef
Let me enjoy the
got
woman.
a different
Let me enjoy the
outlook
woman a
at
little bit.
it. When
Let
I
me
hear
enjoy the
you say
woman a little
that, I envision you staring at the same page with the same words on it for multiple days, and then all of a
9
sudden on
months.
the 10th day, the 10th time that you looked at, oh shit, it does say that. Like, no, it been said that,
Nah,
nigga.
no
He got to
logic.
deal with his heartbreak the way he deal with his heartbreak. Leave
Logic.
that man alone.
No, logic is not that bad, logic. Logic is not that bad. It's not that bad. But I'm being real. No, I'm being real with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I respect
I'm,
it.
I'm, I'm
You gotta
just,
give
I'm just, I'm just messing with you.
give
I'm just
everybody.
messing with you,
No,
Jimmy.
but you gotta
I'm
give
just messing
everybody
with you.
time. You gotta give
That's a
everybody
fact.
time to deal with it
No,
in
that's that's a fact. I wish it didn't. I wish it didn't hurt you in a way where it requires time. But I get it.
What
although
just
logic,
happened? What just happened?
although logic, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not agreeing with you on you or Chef on this Kemen at all. I'm
Okay.
not budging from that. I'm not budging from that. You're gonna have to beat
That's
me
you
down.
don't agree. You
You're gonna
don't
have to
agree with
knock off
Reggie
that
either.
fight.
And Reggie can read the language. He write papers. He go to
No, I
UNESCO
disagreed
or
on one
whatever he
thing.
do.
No,
But I'm saying that that's a clear person who we all know is better than you at everything that you
but
talk
Reggie
about, and you don't
explained,
agree with that nigga either. See, I guess it's one thing that
no,
this was
I
crazy
agree
in this
with him.
community. It'd be one thing if you just disagree with the Egyptology, right? But
No,
apparently
I
niggas can stomach
agree.
that kind of shit around here. When you
No, I
disagree
agree.
with Reggie, you gotta sound extra crazy now, because if you
No,
don't
but
agree with Reggie, like, dang, how pseudo is you, nigga? Like, you just
so I can't. So I can't disagree with Reggie on one thing. I agree with him on Kemen because he wrote a whole paper on it to
how are
explain
you
it.
disagreeing with somebody who actually studying it? It doesn't
Well,
like
guess
and you
what?
should
I don't agree with
you
Reggie either. But look,
Well,
hey,
guess what? Well, guess what?
Joey, I'm
I'm not
sending you
saying
that
like
source.
but if Joey is completely unfamiliar with it, right? How you just agree and you admittedly unfamiliar with it?
Right. And
Right.
I said to you, and I said to you, I'm halfway there because I read and I agree that there was people kill themselves to come into the afterlife. I
But
agree
what?
with that because I read up on it. Just
But
me
what?
disagreeing doesn't make me right.
So
It
you was
doesn't make me wrong
arguing from
either.
ignorance.
Yes, I was totally unfamiliar with it, and now that I'm reading it, I realize I was
Exactly.
arguing from an ignorant standpoint. Now
Exactly.
I'm arguing.
So
Now I'm
now
arguing
with
from a half
Kemet,
ignorant standpoint.
Yeah,
now
but
with
what
Kemet,
happened?
No,
What happened?
no. I've heard enough about Kemet to know if I'm right or wrong about that one. People spend years beating that to the ground, so I know for sure
I just
I'm
showed
not
you
wrong
years
on that.
to now.
Okay, can I? What happened?
We went back. We went back down the Black
No,
Egypt
not
rabbit
you.
hole again,
Like
Brass.
you just got beat up. I want to hear the nigga who beat you up. What just happened?
The nigga who beat me up.
Somebody just beat your ass.
No.
I'm listening to you.
No, nobody didn't beat my ass.
Logic.
It doesn't
Nigga,
work
you
that
about
way.
to go to sleep. I heard the words. I gotta
And
go lay
yes,
down.
I'm going to lay down. Have a good day.
Okay,
That's exactly what I'm
go
going to
ahead,
do.
go ahead, go
Here's
lay
a
down.
he
So
needs
what
to
happened?
lay down.
Yeah, if a nigga show you something and you gotta go lay down, he whooped your ass. So what happened? Logic,
Nigga crazy.
Chef, what happened?
I don't know what
I
just happened.
can't. He said, he just said
If a
he had to
nigga said,
lay
bro,
down.
all I heard, I wasn't even gonna join this shit, but then that nigga said After what I just saw, I need to lay down. What the fuck did y'all show him? Did y'all fuck his whole shit up?
I don't know.
Stop
I'm
laughing,
still
bro.
confused.
You like that's fucked up, right?
Man, that's that just sounded a lot funnier than the first time I heard it.
What did you
Nigga
show
ran
him
some
that
shit. He
had to go to
said,
sleep? What'd you show him?
Nothing. He said when Logic, he said that now he came to the realization that it was people who took their lives or lives was taken with the king or went to the afterlife with the king. Now, whether they committed suicide themselves or they was killed, he said the only thing he can say is y'all halfway right. They went with the king in death. You dig what I'm saying? So he like that shit fucked him up. You know what I mean? Like he had no idea, but he's not willing to accept that they were killed. You know what I mean? He's saying that maybe they committed suicide, but the fact that it was human sacrifice, you know what I mean, it kind of fucking him up.
Why was
You
he
know what I
dealing
mean?
with
nah. I don't want this blood on my hands this time, yo. Because the man came up in there talking about all the Egyptians is black, right? And then so Chef showed him the report from the UNESCO conference in which they said that Egyptians never used that word that way, and if they would have, they would have said this other word, but since they didn't, you can't find it, right? So that was, and then Joey talking about it was 50 years ago. And then he started trying to fight it, and then he's like, "Man, I gotta lay down." And that's when he said he had to lay down. He read something and said, "I gotta lay down."
Yeah, I don't think Joey ready, bro.
Ooh.
I think
But
Joey. I think Joey.
He's fighting that hard, and then he'll turn around and say, "I ain't read nothing." Like, God damn, Joey.
Yeah, no, but I told you, you could hear in these conversations, even the one y'all had, he don't really like. Even when you're showing how there was no balancing of the heart during that time. His whole argument was based on that. And with a simple search, you realized that wasn't even the case. The Kings was just assumed.
It was clear. It was clear to me the first day. That's why I said it out loud, because he didn't know what I was talking about. There's an evolution to the whole process, right? That's why they have the term "it got democratized," because it was not before, right? That's kind of clear.
But he didn't know that. You could tell when we said it, he didn't know it, because it was like, but well, hold on, they don't. Well, they wave the king, and then everybody else just goes, and then they ride some boat or something. And I was like, nah, that's not even what happens. He's gonna lay down until Sadiq and them wake up. That's what's gonna happen. He ain't gonna say nothing until it's Sadiq and the rest of the artists.
He gotta wait till Sergeant Cobb get in here.
He gotta wait till Sergeant Cobb get out of
that was some nasty work that he was doing with his Sergeant Cobb in the room. That was nasty.
Yo, that conversation we had at the end with Sheffrin, bro, that was a funny ass conversation, bro. When you listen back to these conversations, the shit be hilarious, bro. I swear to God, though. Like, we all be hilarious, bro. All of us be hilarious as fuck, bro.
Chef, my man, yo. I gotta have Chef clear this up, dog. Because every time I think about that conversation, I laugh. I laugh.
I don't know why it's so funny though, Logic. I can't even explain why it's so funny, but it's funny as hell, bro.
It's because you gotta be saying Dr. Ben actually was on his shit, nigga. That's why it's funny. You gotta give Dr. Ben a lot of credit, nigga. If you say he's talking about that much diversity, nigga, you gotta say Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben, without going to school, is a cold ass nigga, dude. You would have to say
He
yes.
didn't realize, hey Logic, he didn't realize like Babylon Don was killing his argument. Like in real time, Babylon Don kept chiming in and shit, right? And he was just
I thought that's why Chef got off because
I don't listen to Babylon Don. That's like listening to Joey. Are y'all crazy? Like you ignore them niggas and make your own point. You feel me? Like that's just crazy. But I don't listen to half of none of y'all for real. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth because I already got my point. I be already having my point. You feel me? Like, and I don't let y'all derail. I don't let nothing derail me because anything, you notice when we start talking and people jump in, they can derail your point, change the topic. I don't listen. I don't. Like, I can listen later, but in the middle of it, I'm not listening. Y'all niggas crazy.
Yeah. You will get derailed if you listen to every comment, every single comment that a nigga make. Like, you be way down the rabbit hole and forget where y'all was even talking about.
Yeah, y'all was listening to Babylon Dog. I wasn't listening to that nigga. What was he saying?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He was
That's
proving
insane.
our point that when them niggas be talking about Nubians, they talking about Bior, bro. They definitely ain't talking about no Zahir Wise looking ass niggas. That's for sure.
I never said
Or no
they was talking about
Afro-Asiatic.
Zahir Wise.
No, I'm saying the Afro. I'm being a little hyperbolic right there, right? The Afro-Asiatic looking niggas, right? You know how you get some of them Afro-Asiatic looking niggas, they get a little darker. You know what I'm saying? Like, they not talking about them. They even include them as invaders, Chef. You gotta know that, bro. They even include them. But I gotta get Ngozi on here because Chevron, I think me and you been having an argument for a couple years now that we ain't settled yet, right? And I've been trying to tell you, like, and Ngozi been trying to explain this, and nobody's picking it up, bro. Nobody's picking up what Ngozi saying. So I'm gonna somehow get a hold of. I'm gonna call Ngozi today, and I'm gonna get him on the Discord. Me and you, we gotta have this discussion, Chevron. We gotta clear this up. This is why we had a disagreement yesterday. This is why it is. Because you don't understand that them Nubian niggas, them A group, B group niggas, right? Those is Afro-Asiatic niggas, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta understand that. Now, some of them gotta
it's the C group that they trying to push up, right?
Yeah.
So you would be under the impression that when I'm talking about Egypt, right? That if I'm telling you that Afro-Asiatics can be black also, for some reason you think that they can't be. So
I'm saying I'm cool with it.
If black people speak Arabic, right? So why would you say Afro-Asiatic like that excludes them away from being
because
black?
I'm speaking from inside the conscious community. You got to understand, now, this is not my opinion, right? I'm representing the conscious community in this argument, Chef. You know what I'm saying? So when this is what they don't. Now, I'm cool with you calling because you didn't explain it to me already, right? You done ran this down. So I'm fine with the understanding that you won't refer to them as black, right? You don't have no problem with that, and I'm fine with that. What I'm telling you is, as me looking from outside the conscious community, bro, no, them niggas. Now, Ivan Van Sertima and them was including all of those guys. That's what we agree at, right? But no, these days, these new niggas, Shepard, they think them niggas, bro. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. Now they will accept that it was some mixing. So maybe somebody had a baby by one of Bior's family members, and now they a little darker. You know, they accept that kind of shit. But the overall point of view, bro, them niggas is invaded coming from the conscious community perspective, bro. That's all I'm telling you.
I don't understand. I don't think nobody is saying that those Nubian groups are invaders. Like, I don't.
Because they really think so. They don't.
They are in the diverse. Listen. The Sudan.
They think Nubian is. They equate Nubian, Chef. You got to understand this part. They equate Nubian with Bior.
This is a show right here. You need a phone.
But that is one group of Nubians. there's a diversity in what we call
Yeah.
Nubian.
You
think
know
people
that.
don't know?
You
Hold
know
on,
that.
hold on.
They
So
don't.
you don't think people realize the diversity of the
Bro,
Sudan?
No.
they just
No.
said humanity a couple weeks ago, yo. What you
That's
mean
crazy.
they
And that's
understand
why I was
the
telling
diversity?
you Babylon
That's
Don
crazy.
was murdering you yesterday. That's why I kept telling you Babylon Don is murdering you right now, bro. They don't know that.
Hassel. Yeah, Hassel is boiling down the liquor ship, yo. He's not doing the whole DNA and he ain't doing diversity. He's looking at liquor ship, yo. He ain't doing that.
So y'all think that the people in the Sudan, right? Those diverse people in the Sudan, y'all think that the only black people in the Sudan is the Dior type?
No, Chef. So follow. Like we're saying that we understand the diversity and the range, right? I'm saying, it sounds like Corey is saying it too, that people in the conscious community, and I will go all the way back to Dr. Ben included, right? They were not talking about all this diversity.
They
Yeah,
was
Ivan Van
lumping.
Sertima
Yes,
might have,
they
but
was,
Dr.
but
Ben
they
wasn't.
lumped.
I agree. I
They don't go into
because
the
he went to
nuance.
school.
No, they don't go into the nuance the way that y'all trying to do. I'm gonna say what y'all are trying to do. They don't go into the nuance. They just lump all of them together under black, right? But they understood that those different groups was there. Like y'all are tripping, yo. Y'all are
So
tripping.
let me ask you a question, right?
Now y'all gonna
So
make me
let me
defend
ask you a
Dr. Ben.
question.
Now y'all gonna make me defend Dr.
You-
Ben. I'm
You
telling
doing
you.
it, yo.
You're making me argue from the conscious community point
No,
of
I'm telling
perspective.
you.
we both in a bad position here.
No,
Go
I'm
ahead.
telling you that Dr. Ben wasn't that stupid, yo. No, Van Sertima and them wasn't that stupid.
I'm not
y'all
talking
crazy?
about them. See, you keep going back to Van Sertima. Them.
I said
Van
Dr.
Sertima
Ben.
them
I did.
understood. Yeah, I might be on page with Dr. Ben, right? But Van Sertima knew the diversity, right? Maybe Dr. Ben knew it, but that ain't what he was getting across to the audience. You see what I'm
Diop
saying?
knew
That
it.
ain't the point. Diop knew it. I knew
Right.
it. But what I'm saying, so when these people is reading these books, Shepard, I'm just talking about the general community, not the professors, not Diop and Van Sertima and them, right? I'm talking about when niggas on YouTube from the conscious community, when they say Nubian, they're talking about them guys that's on the bottom of them sandals, bro. And that's it. That's the mindset that they want to put you in, Chef. They're not talking about
I totally agree with that.
these ambiguous, fine, they you can call them black, and I understand why you say they black, Shepard. I even understand why Ivan Van Sertima and them would call them black, right?
Mhm.
But what I'm saying is these new niggas in the modern day, today, when niggas say Nubian, bro, they only talking about one group of people, bro. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
And can I gotta and let me see if I can get some direction here too, because and this is a question, didn't Diop pose that there was a Caucasoid type also in Egypt? Didn't that one of the things that he said?
I don't know. I don't know if he said it was a Caucasoid type.
The word Caucasoid is in there somewhere. It is in there somewhere. Okay, so I'd have to dig that up before I can make that conclusion. But if I'm not mistaken,
I'm sure he
Diop
did. Let's
actually
go with it. I'm sure he did. Let's go with it.
right.
I'm
So
sure
if he's
did. He
if
would
he
have
would be
to acknowledge.
implying, right, if he would be implying that there's a Caucasoid type and a Negroid type there, he can't be acknowledging the diversity
He definitely
between the
talked
Negroid
about
type if he's
Caucasoid.
also
Right.
saying that there's a Caucasoid type. He
Mhm.
would, because if not, he would have just said these Negroids expand from here to there. Not there's also this Caucasoid. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but he also argued against the Hermetic theory, right? And that it was certain black people who wasn't really black. They were white Caucasians. You dig what I'm saying? He was saying like that's some racist bullshit. You feel me? He was saying because that skull type don't fit into the caricature skull type of a Negroid, then these people are not really black. They black white people. They argued against that shit.
Right.
They were
And
saying
then
they were saying that now Europeans are not accepting the variety and the diversity of the African type. And now they're talking about these black people who up until this point was black. Now they wasn't really black because you find these skull types in Egypt. They was white black people. They was black people. They was white people with black skins. You dig what I'm saying? He was saying that's that bullshit calling Africans Caucasoids. They argued against that shit.
okay. So so in the argument in that type of context, you're saying that he would be acknowledging the diversity of
I
the
don't know why
Negro.
Yeah.
Okay.
we're honest, though. We don't even say that though. Like the white people, the white people with the black shit, like
You breaking up? Well, you on the concrete.
Can we all agree to that? Hold on, let me see. Come back on it. I ain't got but one bar, so I'll come back.
All right. Okay. So where were we then? So if Di, okay, so we could fast forward past Diop acknowledging the diversity. So I gotta leave Dr. Ben alone. But so to fast forward to the rest of the people who are talking about the other people in the region is they the foreigners and all of that, they're not including all the people in the area when they're actually saying black people, right? Like they make a clear distinction.
Dr. Ben said he was Ethiopian. Dr. Ben said he was Ethiopian.
Okay.
So why wouldn't, if Dr. Ben said he was Ethiopian, right? I never heard him say that there was Ethiopians that wasn't black. Like
No, that's not. No, I get what you're saying about the Ethiopian part, but I'm more so talking about this corridor part, right? Where you see the colors, the other colors coming in. That's more what I'm talking about.
Well, you would Ethiopia would be another corridor for Western Asians. You dig what I'm saying? They were both hubs for the mixing and all of that. You know what I mean? How Somalia touches damn near Yemen, right? Those people always shared, you know what I mean? And
so
you know what I mean?
Bro, but if that's true, then why would you need to argue that it comes from the South?
Why would
why would you need that particular fight if all of it's black people?
Yo, that's what they was trying to prove. I'm not making
no, but I'm saying it wouldn't. If they all was black people, it wouldn't have mattered which direction it came from, right?
Huh?
I say if they was all black people, safely considered black people, that you wouldn't need to make this distinction. It's only coming from the South, right? Like there's a reason why you have the narrative runs in that particular direction.
Right. They was trying to prove that it was greater Africa that produced Egypt and not people coming from the other direction, far as wise the north and Europe,
right,
or from Western Asia. So to go south would be connecting Egypt more to African groups and less from Western Asians and Europeans. So that's why they
consider those people from the South more African, right?
Yeah.
To some
what's the diversity of what those people was? You see what I'm saying?
I mean, if you're embracing the diversity, then
okay, here's another part where that kind of stands out, right? Because if everybody was embracing the adversity, then the conversation would have stopped at they're African, right? But it don't stop there. They
Yeah,
gotta keep going to make them black.
Right. So look, this is the thing. In America, right? In America, and with the groups of Africans in Europe, like Diop and them, right? They always considered East Africans black people also. That's the thing.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Right. So
but what I was saying earlier though, Chef.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just wanted to say what I was saying earlier.
Go ahead. You
that,
clear now. You clear. Go ahead. No, you clear.
Yeah. So what I was saying earlier is, why can't we keep it real? Like when they saying that the black white guys, right, or the white guys with the black skin, right? Why can't we acknowledge that that's just a time where they wasn't as smart as we is today, right? But why can't we acknowledge that we actually know what the fuck they talking about though, right? Why ain't we able to keep it real and say, when he's saying that, whichever guy, because I don't know which guy y'all was quoting, but some guy said the black people, the white guys with the black skin, right? Mm-hmm. Why do we gotta act like we don't know what the fuck they talking about? Why we gotta act like that though?
What does that mean?
Well, so to me, what it means today, like what I would say today is some mixed niggas, right? You got these Afro-Asiatic with sub-Saharan components in it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what he meant. That's what he meant. Now, on the Ethiopia, y'all clear down in Ethiopia right now. But what I would say is that's why they talk about came from the South, right? Because now we in a clear area where it's black motherfuckers at. You see what I'm saying? Now this is why Dr. Ben talk about he from Ethiopia and why he all this old wild shit, bro. Because now we in the clear sub-Saharan black Africa at that point once we in Ethiopia. So that, but I'm saying we at least should be able to keep it real, just because they didn't have the terms right? We should at least be able to keep it real and say we know what the fuck they talking about. Like, am I crazy with that or what?
They definitely ran all the way down to Ethiopia. But they've been doing they've been doing that from the beginning. How many times Unc will tell you, right? I don't care how much y'all niggas go over there and agree with him, right? And act like he on point. He always say, yo, the Nile is a highway, right? The Nile stretches 4,000 such and such miles into the body of Africa. You dig what I'm saying? And it was a highway. He always been saying that the people came from that southern region and populated Egypt, going all the way down to Lake Victoria, coming all the way up through Ethiopia. So when he talked that shit about it ain't no black people, he's talking about black people. Clearly. There's no distinction.
Yeah, he's talking about, I'm not arguing on that point. I'm not arguing that point at all.
Right. So fuck what he say, right? About that it ain't no such thing as black people. We know who the fuck he talking about. You dig what I'm saying? And I guarantee iSonic on here right now, and iSonic, you in the pseudo killers Discord, right? Now go ask Unc, is it a such thing as a black Caucasoid? So all that shit y'all talk about, I guarantee you Unc don't agree with that shit. So we can pin niggas down. We know what niggas is saying. And they got that shit from Diop and Dr. Ben and Van Sertima and all of them niggas. Niggas pick and choose what they hearing from people. You dig what I'm saying? I hear the whole thing. I've been around long enough. I know what the fuck is being said. You can't trick me on none of that shit. Go get Ngozi. He'll tell you. Yeah, that's what them niggas was saying. Like, so they argued against the white Caucasoid or the black Caucasoid shit. They say, yo, what type of wild shit is that? You dig what I'm saying? Like Negroid, Caucasoid, you know what I mean? You find the skull that don't fit into a caricature of Negroid in sub-Saharan Africa.
So they mad about that for a different reason though, Shepard. Because now you actually, so when you're talking about the Negroid, the Caucasoid and Negroid, right? Now you're stepping into the realm of like quasi-science realm, right? You know what I mean? So now you start poisoning the well, basically, is what they're doing. They just dismissing them out of hand. So now when they come up with the genetics, when they actually come with the real genetics and stop using the Caucasoid and this and that and the other, then they like, oh, and when they, this, that, and the other. But so once you start seeing that those Nubians, right, it's got majority 60% Levantine, just like the goddamn Egyptians and shit, bro. Then you start to figure out who these niggas actually is, what these niggas actually look like, bro. And so now that kills the whole Nubian thing, right? So every time when we establish, this is why they say it came from the South. So they trying to tell you that niggas established Egypt, right? So when they say, when they talk about Nubians and the fact that they want to put you in the mind of Beor, they're neglecting or they're not understanding the actual genetic component that makes up those Nubians. They're depending on the ignorance of the audience not to know that nuance. So yes, those Dinkas was in Nubia, right? Yes, those guys are on the walls being trampled and all of this type of shit, right? But they don't understand that the overwhelming majority of those groups had the same kind of genetic makeup and components as the Egyptians, bro. So all of those, the niggas that's there now, they would have looked like the people that would have been in Egypt wouldn't have looked no different than the niggas in Nubia. Is there outliers in Nubia, like groups like Beor and shit that was around them? Yeah, but Beor and them are migratory groups that came up there. So, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, it's a little bit of nuance that keeps people's brains fucked up, bro. I don't, that's why I'm saying, Chef, when they say Nubia, they're talking about Beor, bro. That's all I'm saying.
So those other Afro-Asiatic groups, you think they're not talking about them?
Chef, can I chime in, bro?
You low as I don't know what.
Any better?
Better.
Okay. I think you're both right. What Corey's trying to say, though, I kind of agree with him a bit, because what they're trying to do is, you know how the Egyptians are Afro-Asiatic speakers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the other group that's Afro-Asiatic speakers in Nubia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if those guys have about like 40 to 60% Levantine DNA as well, that comes from that region, but they also have a bit of mix with the, let's say, the Dinka type, but ancient mix. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to dismiss the Afro-Asiatic group. So if you throw away the whole group, then you can erase the actual Egyptians and replace them with the Nilo-Saharans, who are the Dinka type. But if you accept the other Nubians who are Afro-Asiatic speakers, then genetically later on you're going to have to accept that the Egyptians are actually the Egyptians, not the darker skinned people in Nubia.
Damn, you nailed it. He fucking came on here and goddamn nailed it. Thank you very much. Keep going, brother. You nailed it. You nailed it.
But in the end, you are both right. They're trying to pull people from certain areas and say they populated it. They're the actual Egyptians. I'm not disagreeing with both of you, but just to make it clear.
Yeah, without that, you wouldn't need the narrative of the whole mountains of the moon. Without that, you could just say they all African. I ain't never heard Well, I'm gonna say never, but yeah, they're not saying that they are. They try to convince us that these other people are actually not African and they pushed out the original. That's the story. Now, however they come up with that and misconstrue Van Sermon and them to get there, whatever. But that's where they end up. We just had somebody, a conscious community scholar, mentioning something about the humanity not too long ago. They couple weeks out from not saying the people ain't even human. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they look at it.
That's
They're not
Asar.
acknowledging no diversity. That's not what they're doing.
That's Asar, bro. He wants to say the Twa are the actual Egyptians as well.
You did not just call that man a conscious community scholar. You ought to be
Yeah, I
sharing
did.
that.
He ain't calling himself a conscious community scholar, bro.
You ought to be sharing
He
yourself
called
with that.
Reggie Baba yesterday. Come on now. He a conscious community scholar. Well, yeah, Chef.
Yeah, I just want to say I think Sonic is spot on. And I'd have to agree that
This,
that's the narrative that's being pushed. You know,
from what I can tell from day one, this has never been about inclusivity. It's always been about
exclusive.
exclusivity.
Yeah.
Never
Who
been
can we
about
kick out?
inclusivity.
Who can we kick out so we can make the Egyptians as dark as we want to? That's all that shit is. You know what I'm saying? Or make certain groups
Right.
what we want
When
them
they
to be.
say our ancestors, they are not talking about them Asiatics. So that's not what they're talking
Absolutely. You're 100% correct.
What up? What up, people? This is my first time saying something to you guys. It looks like you guys are a little bit confused about who the Nubians were, and what Flinders Petrie, Emile Chasson, and all the early Egyptologists were saying when they were saying that it was a new race, because we all know, right? There's only one race, right? We got different climes. So what actually happened is that Nubia, the land Nubia, has always been there forever. It's not like a new land. Nubia has been there before for like 3200 BC, 4200 BC, 5200 BC, 6200 BC, 10,000 BC. Nubia has always been there. Also people have been there also. These people are called Nakada, 1, 2, and 3, and Group A. These are actual people and cultures with material evidence, cave art, and a whole bunch of stuff, culture and stuff that is identical to 3200 BC. Now, when Flinders Petrie said that a new race came, right, it's because he didn't have genetic information. All he saw was the morphology. He saw morphology. The morphology did not look like the prognathism of, I won't say sub-Saharans, but I'll say guys from the South. They're just a different morphology, because as we all know, Africa has a lot of morphologies. And hair, skin, has it all. So what happened was at the African Human Period, AHP, the African Human Period, that pushed a lot of new people to the Nile. It took thousands of years, but it brought a lot of new people with a lot of new ideas, new technology, and it seems like they had more of this than the original kind of Africans that were already on the Nile. But these people that came, they had a different morphology. They didn't look like the ones that Flinders says were the indigenous Negroes of Egypt. That's what he said. They looked different. They had a different. Their prognatism was less. You know what that? I think you guys know what that is. So what Flinders said, okay, these guys don't look African. They look European. That's how it all started. But today we know that the African human period brought
Them
people.
niggas wasn't flexing their mandibular. They didn't have a mandibular. Just say it plain out, bro. Them niggas didn't have a mandibular. That's all it was.
You have one way of saying it. I have another way of saying it. We're both saying the same thing. They didn't have that. So they said, well, that's an honest mistake. Like they're gonna say, well, these don't look like the ones that we always see. They look different. They can't be from Africa. So that's why I put that picture of Idris, because it shows that if you saw his morphology, his bone structure, you would automatically assume he's not African. But indeed, he is West African. So my whole point in coming in here is to show you guys that you guys are leaving out tons of stuff. You guys are leaving out the material evidence culture in the now, in the Nubian lands, the cave art that resembles the glyphs in the dynastic period. All those things.
Yeah, you gotta understand. Y'all in the audience gotta understand that both me, Logic, and all of us were arguing from points of view that we don't agree with, right? So Sheffin don't necessarily agree with his point of view, I guess, but we forcing him to argue from that point of view. I don't agree with my point of view, but I'm forced to argue from this point of view, right? So I don't agree that the Nubians only look like Bior or Dinka type, right? But I'm arguing from that point of view to get a overarching point across. That's all. I just wanted y'all to understand that. Hopefully the audience understands.
Egypt wasn't all black. We had invaders. You know what I'm saying? We had a bunch of invaders. It is true. Egypt was.
See, we're Sheffrin that. You got to tell him that. Sheffrin don't understand what you're saying. Go ahead.
But it wasn't. In the beginning, it wasn't. It was totally black folks. You know what I'm saying? It was just, where did they come from? Like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody outside of Africa has African culture. Like, show me African culture out of Africa in the Levantine, and I'll say, bro, you got a point. They wear those collars. They bury their people a certain position. They don't do none of that shit. So if you can, I get the genetic part of it. I can also go into that because those genetic, they call them reference panels. Those genetic reference panels, where it should have 300 African populations, it only has 4 to 6. So it's always going to point towards Levantine and North Africa. These Arabs know this. They know that those panels are heavily skewed, not updated, and they use the same panels over and over again because it's going to show the same. Don't you notice that it never shows anywhere else? North Africa, Levantine. It'll always show that. I can promise you for the next 10 years, anything they find is going to say North African, Levantine. It's because the panels are messed up. They're missing populations. I debate with people every day that actually do these studies. They slip. They start posting their graphs and charts, and I say, brother, that's missing populations. That's missing. You only have sub-Saharan populations there. There's a lot more than sub-Saharan populations. We've got northeast, northwest, southwest, southeast, central. We got tons and tons. That is missing tons of. You're always going to have skewed results. So that's what I wanted to say about the Nubians. The Nubians just didn't start in the middle of the dynastic period. They were always there. They just were marginalized. They didn't. Who wants to say that the original Egyptians were Negro? Nobody wants to say that. So that's what I
definitely want to say that.
I want to ask one question to you, brother. Did the original Nubians look like those people on the wall, those people that was being trampled by King Tut and his chariot, right? Did those Nubians look like those people on the wall?
I will have to say, yeah, I would, my belief, because I wasn't, you know, from what I know and what I understand, is that absolutely, man, it was fucking hot, brother. It was way hot. It was, look, okay, the skin
I ain't,
color.
I ain't gonna argue with you, bro. Don't, you ain't gotta convince me. I just wanted you to, I wanted to agree that. I wanted you to see if you
When we
agree
talk
to that.
about, we got to talk about UV. We got to talk
Right?
about UV. So not Florida, Africa, like, well, let me put it this way.
Oh,
5,000
you
years
teaching
ago,
right now. Just to let you know, you teaching. But go ahead, keep going. Keep going.
5,000 years ago, the UV was 70 to 80% higher. 70 to 80% higher. Look that up. That is why they say there was little to no people with white skin.
But
Until,
listen,
like,
you said something key earlier though, right? You said that originally that Flanders Petrie thought that them people wasn't African.
yeah, because of the morphology, the bone structure.
Right. Right. So when the blackologists come along, do they disagree with Petrie when Petrie said them people wasn't African?
I don't think the people that disagree with Flinders really understand what he was going through. Imagine you're a white guy, right? Christian white guy, you know what I'm saying, right? And you find these bones, and you don't see no what the Corey say, mandibula, like, you know what I'm saying? You don't see that. What are you gonna say right away? That's not a black guy. You know what I'm saying?
No, I understand. So, but that takes. So I asked you if they disagreed with it, right? So and this is an assumption. I'm saying they would have to have agreed with you because that they say that those people are not the original Egyptians, right? So we fast forward 50 and 60 years and we find out that those people are the Egyptians, right? But the whole time the community has been calling those people invaders. They were agreeing with Petrie that those people weren't African.
They were invaders. They were black invaders.
See, Ari, this is what you were saying.
They were black invaders. They came from the African human period. Those people had to go somewhere.
You're the first person I ever heard to say the invaders were black. I've never heard that, but if you're acknowledging that they were invaders, then you would have to say that they weren't like original African.
No.
They're
African, they're black, and they're invading a culture that already existed for thousands of years before they came. Pre-dynastic Egypt. That's the word.
So are you saying that they invaded from the south? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, is that where the invaders come from?
They came from the central of the interiors of Africa during the African human period. When it started to dry out, they took off. They left the dry area and went to the Nile. And when they did that, these were new, different looking people. They were black Africans, but they were different from the ones that had already been there for thousands of years before them. Follow what I mean?
Yo,
I'm trying to follow it because if you're calling the invaders black, then you're calling them like the Libyans black. You know what I'm saying? You're basically saying that like everybody, even the people at the Kama who would have been considered black too. Like that can't be that broad. Like everybody can't be that.
No, like I said before, like I said before, the people that came in from the African human period, because it was drying up and they needed to go somewhere, they moved west. I mean, they moved towards the Nile. These are still black people. The invaders were the Greeks, the Romans, the Arabs, the Persians. Those were not African people. But the people that came from the African human period, those were Africans, those were black, but they had
so who are the black invaders you're talking about? Maybe that's why you said that somebody was a black invader.
Well, you understand what the African human period is, right?
No, what is that?
Oh, okay. Okay, kind of scientific, but I'll go really quick. The Earth wobbles, right? When it wobbles, the tropical strip around the Earth, it gets either narrower or wider, or it turns or it tilts because of the Earth wobble. You follow me?
Yep.
So in this process, it makes places tropical, and it makes and it
Yeah, I
desertificates.
got you. You're describing how the
Right.
Nile, or why the green Sahara like comes and goes or grows and
Yeah.
shrinks.
It'll make it tropical and it'll make it dry as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
we just came out of the tropical. Now we're in the dry time. Those people had to leave that dry area. There's no water. There's nothing growing. So they left. They started migrating up, north, west, south. They left the area. But a bunch of them, of course, went to the Nile because, the Nile. But these are still African people. But when they came, right, these are kings, rulers, people, there was just civilizations all over Africa. When those people came, they took on the Nilotic culture and the Egyptian culture that was already there, the pre-dynastic culture, and they started to marginalize the original people that were there.
Right. So there we go. Right. So you're saying some Black Africans came in and colonized
Correct.
some people who were already there, and it sounds
Correct.
like the people who are already there, you're not considering those Black Africans.
They were Black. They were Black Africans, but they had a
Well, then it
different.
wouldn't be an invasion of Black people. Then it would just be Black people.
That's what I'm saying. It's just the difference was that they had different morphologies. They didn't look the same. Black people don't look the same.
Okay, are Libyans Black?
Yeah, I consider them. I mean, that's up for them to decide. I mean, that's up for them to decide. I'm just talking about early pre-dynastic time, when there wasn't a lot of that stuff going on.
I don't know how I can argue with a Libyan being Black.
I can't say
because that means that they fit every description. They the Tamhu, they the European, they the non-African, and they Black, and they African. They everything at that point.
The Flinders said, he identified
these about
he
you don't know the history behind it, logic. But what he's talking about is the Badarian. These Badarian groups in the Holocene phase, I guess, when in the drying up of the desert, right? These people, these Badarian groups, right? They had like mobile homes and shit, right? This is basically the world's first trailer trash, right? Right. So they had these mobile. They would move in and out of these areas, like, so they would go from the Green Sahara kind of interior of where the desert is at today, which was lush and green. As that dried up, they would move more towards the Fayum and towards the Nile area. You see what I'm saying? And these are Badarian groups. But the thing is, right, logic. Remember what I told you earlier? What they don't understand is the nuance of the shit, right? So they don't understand that these people have this North African look already. These already like North African Levantine type niggas already. You see what I'm saying? Logic. So
I see what you're saying, but I'm saying he's calling them people. So he calling them people the same.
He's calling them Black, but this is why they bring the Badarians and shit and the whole Green Sahara thing up, because they want to put you in the mind of a bunch of niggas, a bunch of sub-Saharan niggas, which these are not sub-Saharan niggas. You can already tell that from the geography logic, right? So they saying, oh, it's Black people that move from the Green Sahara. They trying to tell you that these Badarian niggas move from the Green Sahara, and then those people are the ones who populated Egypt before Namur came up and did the whole, unification and all of that shit, right? So this is what I'm trying to tell you. That's why they bring the Green Sahara in, because they don't know the nuance. This is why I'm trying to tell Sheffrin. They bring the Green Sahara up because they want to put you in the mind of a nigga, a sub-Saharan nigga. They want you to.
Maybe
Maybe
somebody
you
else.
not. I'm not accusing you of this, but in general, the conscious community, when
Mhm.
they say the Green Sahara, this is why you hear even talk about the fucking Green Sahara. If they wasn't saying these niggas is niggas, black niggas, right, sub-Saharan niggas, they wouldn't even bring the Green Sahara up, Logic. So you got to know that to start with. There's no reason to bring it up if they already know these is Levantine looking, Afro-Asiatic, you know what I'm saying, type niggas, North African looking type niggas already. If they already knew that, they wouldn't even bring that to the argument, Logic. So this is what I'm trying. This is what I'm saying, and this is what Sheffrin ain't understanding about this shit. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm trying to get him to understand. But nobody, he think I'm wild. He keep going back to Ivan Van Sertima. And I'm not talking about Ivan Van Sertima was way smarter than the average conscious community. Rather he got shit wrong or not, he was still way more understanding about this shit than the average conscious community. You know what I'm saying? So like you can't bring him to the argument because they're reading Ivan Van Sertima. Ivan Van Sertima may have even written about the Badarians in the Green Sahara, right? But the way they interpret that is a group of niggas that look like me and you, Logic, then came out of the Green Sahara and populated Egypt. That's what they trying to make you think there. I'm not saying the brother
that
doing
makes
that.
sense.
That's not what the brother doing, but this is what the conscious community. But go ahead.
Like he's expanding what black is. iPhone.
Yeah.
Like expanding the definition of black to be able to fit a Libyan in there. I don't agree with that, but because like if that were the case, then we was fighting for nothing the whole time, right? Like if ultimately we were just going 60 years later just say, well, the Libyans is black too, but like, well, he wasn't fighting over anything. You know what I'm saying? Like if that was the case, you know what I'm saying? Like that can't be the move. Like that can't be what they were fighting for. Is to include Libyans, and that's not what they were doing. Can't be. But that, I get what your argument is. I don't really have a retort for you because it just doesn't make sense to me. I wouldn't go that far and call a Libyan black. I mean, that's your view. Because I don't feel like nobody else means that. Like that's more convoluted than it is anything. You know what I'm saying? Like if that, I mean, that just makes the whole, I guess, conversation a little frivolous. Like if we were just going to go full circle just to call the Asiatic people black, like that just sounds ridiculous. I don't know. If that, like, why even be offended about certain terms being used in? Like that's, I don't know.
Hey, Logic, do you get why I say that the whole Kira Cooney shit is wild as fuck, right? Because now imagine these Afro-Asiatic niggas, right? Now you know some of them niggas can be as dark as me, right? You understand that, right, Logic?
Yeah, absolutely. Darker than both of us. We still had the straight hair and everything.
And you got, but you can look at it, although they dark as me, right? You can look at them niggas and tell, like, yo, we not that, right? So we got to be able to understand that. The hair is straight in the motherfucker, right? So, and then you'll get somebody say, well, black people got straight hair, too. But I don't want to hear that bullshit, bro. But listen, this is why I'll be saying the Kira Cooney shit is so wild. Because she'll say, well, they would have had to sit on the back of the bus, too. But you understand that in the had to sit on the fucking back of the bus. So what make you think an Arab looking nigga, right? Some dark skinned Arab looking ass nigga is gonna come over here in America and sit his ass on the front of the fucking bus? But I don't understand. So this is and then so now by her saying that they would have put on the back of the bus, you see what I'm saying? Now it puts niggas in the mindset, well,
Yeah, with Dan,
See the
they
dilemma
they,
there,
they like
Logic.
us. Yeah, they like us exactly, and that's the
Yeah.
dangerous part, right?
But
If I
we
gotta
cannot deny
if,
the
if
thing that
we
we
yeah, why are we
deny
lumping these
is
people
that they
into
would have had
our
to sit
group?
on the back of the bus.
Right. I thought this was something about our shared experiences with colonialization and all of that. Like that can't be, just because
Yeah, yeah.
that we can identify
And
genetically,
now
we can tie
today,
these people to Egypt. Yeah, we could now they black now. That sounds stupid.
and then now when you fast forward all the way to 2025, those niggas, right? Them niggas that would have had to sit on the bus back in the 1950s and 60s, right? Them niggas classified as white today. You see, do you see what I'm saying here, Logic? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So Kara Cooney is some wild ass, crazy ass. I don't know what she doing because she said she wore a T-shirt. She did it. They had a
Pandering,
protest outside of a
pandering.
museum, right? And she had a T-shirt on that said King Tut is black and he's back. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not. They're helping to keep black people misinformed. She ain't doing nobody no favors there. She ain't doing nobody no favors, right? Somebody should have cussed her the fuck out when she talked about them sitting on the back of the bus. Like that shit's wild as fuck. You don't see how wild that is, though, bro. How
Yeah,
misleading it is.
I get it. You gave them a window into it, right? Like you're trying to encourage the BS at that, for sure. Now, I think she did. Now she did do a little justice, but people would have had to be. You'd had to be sharp to kind of catch it, right? When she told you that that's using the one drop rule, right? And then, because if you understand, you shouldn't want to be using the one drop rule if you're trying to make a scientific argument. So I think that if you include that in it, you shouldn't be led too far off of that, even though she ain't doing it when she called King Tut black. She did give you the keys to do it yourself, even though she would be using the one drop rule to consider King Tut to be black, 100%. So, so Chef, right? So how much of what Tony said did you agree with, Chef? Did you catch any of that? Because what Tony's saying, Tony is saying that the Libyans is black people, though. He said,
Listen, y'all listen to that shit. I left.
you ain't fall for that at all. God damn. I thought he had you going for a second, bro. That's
I don't think
that's
that's
tough.
much
So,
you he dismissing him because he don't agree. That ain't right, Chef. I don't think that's right.
somewhere in there's a contradiction, though. You don't need the Egyptians coming from the south if you considering all them people black. That's somewhere in there. It ain't adding up. That's all I'm gonna say for now. I ain't figured it out exactly where it is, but like somewhere they put somewhere in there somebody. I don't know when they finally disagreed with Petrie. Right? When Petrie said that it was an invading race and all that. I don't know when somebody turned that around and said, "Nah, them people they've been there forever." I don't know when that happened, but they didn't start calling them people black until that happened. Everything before that was them people is not these people, and those people are replacing the actual Egyptians, which is us. That's what I'm familiar with. I ain't familiar with now all of a sudden everybody was black. I don't remember that.
Logic. I could be wrong, but what I heard was the Nilotic Dinka type are the actual Egyptians with their culture, and the other people who have a different phenotype are the invaders.
No, so I think the right way to say that is you can see that Dinka type in Egypt as far back as you want to look, but that don't mean that there wasn't a different more a phenotype there just as long or before the Dinka got there. That's what I think the conversation is. So the people who would have got there with a different morphology, you're calling those people black, even though that they look like Hawks. You know, because if you looked at them, those are the same people that y'all been saying this whole time are not the real Egyptians.
No, what Isonic was saying is that's what the conscious community, you know, I was speaking from a conscious community standpoint. Like the Dinka type is the one who established Egypt, and the Zahi Hawass niggas, those are the invaders. That's basically what. Am I correct with that? Isonic, is that what you were trying to convey?
You're correct. Zahi Hawass are the invaders. The Beja are the invaders. Anyone who's not that one group.
The Romans, the Greeks, the Persians, the Arabs. There were 6 invasions.
Yeah.
Those non-Africans.
Yeah, they was all invaders. Yeah. See?
The non-Africans.
And the Bior looking niggas, the Dinka looking niggas, them is the original Egyptians, right? Am I correct with that, brother? What's his name? What's his name?
Tony,
I don't know who the folks you're referring to look like. I'm not sure how they look like. I don't even know how like the original Nubians look like. All I know though is that they had to have been looking much different than what Flinders saw. And then you have to kind of use common sense, like 5,000 years ago. I mean, like 6,000 years ago, who was Nubia?
Bro, it wasn't that long ago. People were saying that the Egyptians wasn't even the Egyptians. They were saying the Nubians were the real Egyptians. Like, how we acting like ain't none of that stuff been happening around here?
The Nubians.
Like that was like the whole crust of the conversation, is that the Egyptians wasn't the Egyptians and the Nubians were the real Egyptians. That's what niggas been saying. Am I tripping?
You mean real Egyptians? They all took the culture. They were all real Egyptians. They all took the culture. Genetics don't teach. Genetics don't tell you like what culture you follow. They all took on the Egyptian culture. They were all Egyptian. But were they the original Egyptians is the question.
Right. So what's that answer? Are the Nubians the original Egyptians? What's the answer?
The answer to that, based on the evidence of like rock art, cave art, the types of burial, burials. Yeah, burials. You find the evidence. The material evidence. You will always find it down there. The first instances of Egyptian anything is found down there, in cave art and freaking written in bones, these things. And then it, of course, evolved. The language, the writing, everything evolved to what you see today. The writing didn't start at 3200 BC. Writing is
I forgot what the original question was because you ain't answered it yet.
I thought I did. I thought I just elaborated on it.
I think basically what you were saying is that the Beja people are you were saying are they the original Egyptians, right?
I'm not bringing up.
Are the Beja people the original Egyptians? Because you actually acknowledged earlier that somebody had to come to the land and they brought the culture to the area. That's what you said.
I said that, but I didn't mention tribes. I don't know what tribes were there back then. I don't know.
Right. So if they brought the culture to the area, then that means that some people were just sitting there until the Nubians pulled up with some culture.
The culture was always there.
You just said they brought it there.
No, if I said that was a mistake. The culture was always there. It is the Nubian land, not the Nubian people as you know them. The land itself, that all Everything started there. All the evidence shows it's there. Cave art, it's everything.
Right. So are the Beja people the original Egyptians?
I don't know who the Beja people are. They don't go by tribes back then. They didn't do that. They didn't.
So
The research.
in your opinion, who are the original Egyptians?
The people that inhabited the Nubian land.
So the Nubians are the original Egyptians. I mean, just
people listen to me. They were not called Nubians back then. They were not called Nubian. The name of these people, that's a later thing. They're the Nubian.
So when you thinking of Nubian, right, are you talking about the diversity of Nubian? Or are you talking about dark skin?
I'm gonna give you a name. I'm not on the where you think I'm at. I'm on the scientific side. You have to go look at the A culture, right? Nakata culture, 1, 2, and 3. You need to study those groups that are all in the Nubian land and what they tell you about early pre-dynastic Egyptians.
Logic. Can you do me a favor,
A
bro?
culture, A group, Nakata 1, 2, and 3. Those are the people that started it, and those people live in the Nubian land.
The A culture would probably be related more to the Cushitic type. They would not be the Egyptians. If you can just search anywhere, you'll see. Yes, they were in that region, but
that's that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
They're related genetically.
Listen, we're not going to do that. We're not going to go back 6,000. Let me finish talking. We're not going to go back 6,000 years and discuss tiny little tribes and little borders. That's not the argument. The argument is that the culture of Egypt came from the Nubian land. Period. Whatever tribes were there, whatever people you want to name were there, I don't know. But whoever it was, those were the people because that's where the evidence is.
I got you, but I was just trying to clear things up. I'll give an example.
You can't clear it up because nobody knows. Not even the Egyptians, not even the Egyptologists know which tribes they were. All they know is morphologies and material evidence. They can't tell you what fucking tribe was there. That's why they call it the A group. That's why they call it the A group culture. They don't know who they were, but they were in the Nubian land.
It's not that serious, bro. It's just a conversation.
Well, it is kind of serious when I sit here every day and you guys don't even mention the A group, the A culture, the Nakata. It is serious. It's wrong information. Basic wrong information.
I was trying to tell them that. I agree with you, homie, because when I said the A and B groups earlier, they dismissed me out of hand. They ain't want to hear nothing I said. You're the only one teaching on here. You're the only one teaching on here, bro, today. I hope Sheffrin listening because he ain't learning what's getting put down right here, right?
Yeah, but he calling the A groups. He calling the A groups black people though, right? And the whole thing is always about pushing the C group stuff,
which is making my point exactly.
It is. He killing it for you.
Exactly.
He is killing it for you. He is definitely calling them A group people the Nubians he wants. Right, he calling Zahi Hawass the African. He calling Zahi Hawass the original Egyptian. Don't even know.
Yeah, Chef. I think this is a perfect example of what Corey was talking about.
You're mischaracterizing my argument, and you're forming your own argument to argue against. And I never said Hawass. I never said any of these people that you were mentioning. You're literally forming your own argument to argue against. Happens a lot.
Don't let them deflect you, bro. Listen. I know you're telling the truth, right? These niggas don't understand what you're talking about. I understand what you're saying.
Shout out to Dr. Hawass, man.
I argue with Egyptologists, historians on X all the time. I'm talking about the ones that you read about. And they can't, you could go up there and look and see. They can't argue this stuff because I have the evidence. The evidence is it's all there.
Again, the group would be Cushitic type. Was probably a little mix. It would not be the Egyptians. They could have Levantine DNA as well, just like the Egyptians.
Listen, the DNA. Let's talk about DNA. Wait. Let's talk about DNA.
Bro,
if you're gonna talk about DNA, let's talk about
right now. Run with it.
Well,
Anyone can confirm it.
whatever. Let's talk about DNA. Do you know what a QP-ADM reference panel is? QP-ADM. Do you know what a PCA reference panel is?
Oh boy.
Do you know what those things are?
You're trying to confuse people. Anyone can. I'm keeping it basic so everyone can
That was
understand it.
simple. Yes
Go
or
to
no?
ChatGPT
Talk
and search
genetics.
the Nubia A group.
Talk genetics. You
Search the
should
Nubia
know
A group, everyone.
how they
That's it.
compare
I'm keeping it simple right
genetic
now.
specimens. They compare
You're
them with
trying to
teeth.
confuse people. You're trying to confuse
No,
people.
no.
Anyone can
It's
go
very
check.
simple.
Anyone can go check.
Let
I'm
me
not going to argue with you. Anyone can go check.
You don't let me finish. You don't let me finish. You don't let me
Yeah,
finish.
he's making a good point. Is there another way that you can articulate what you're saying well with the ball? That's not a bad thing.
I need him to stop talking so I could articulate whatever I'm trying to articulate.
Go confuse
Okay?
people. I'll
If
be
you're gonna
quiet. I'm
speak,
working.
there we
Go
go
ahead.
again.
Confuse people with your stuff. Anyone can confirm what I said. Google it or check ChatGPT. Who are the Nubian A group?
Are you talking about genetics or unknown groups? What are you talking about?
Anyone can look up who the Nubian A group is. You mentioned it, and I'm confirming. Go check who they are. You're trying to confuse people
You think
here.
I haven't done that?
It doesn't work. I'm not telling you. I'm telling other people to do it so they can confirm what's happening.
So I posted a link in the chat, so you can go review that. But I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have any evidence or anything? A source? Can you quote somebody? Cite somebody?
Yeah, Michael Jackson.
I'm about to
See, there you go. See? Michael Jackson.
check it out. I'm about to check it out. So I want to know what you're talking about.
He crashed. Let me tell you about genetics, my boy. Listen, the way it's very simple. Look, when a specimen is found and they have genetics, right? They look at those genetics and they compare them to a table. It's nothing. They compare it to an Excel table. It isn't a computer, a big giant, whoa, a big $1 million computer. They compare it to an Excel sheet that has a list of African populations. When it should have 300 populations, it only has 4 to 6. But then the Levantine in North Africa has about 20 or 30. Don't you think that's a little bit unfair? When you have a table that's referencing mummies and the tables only have 4 to 6 African population groups, when we have about 200? Come on now. That is the genetics of the pharaohs and the Egyptians. They use these fake panels to do anytime you get a genetic sample or a genetic specimen, it's always going to point to either Yoruba, or it's going to point to North or Levantine. It's never going to point to some other place because the tables are fucked. That's known.
Like West Africa, that's what you're trying to bring in. Noticed it. South Africa, again, trying to confuse the topic.
Those are regions, not populations.
You said it earlier.
Regions are multiple populations. It's not like, I mean, I get it. You want to talk about it like that, but this is not like what you think. You know what I mean? It's really nuanced. Really nuanced. And I talk every day with the people that have access to this information every day. They tell me, Tony, those tables are you're never going to find or mummies or anything like that that's going to be close to Nilotic or anything. You're not going to find any because they don't have samples to compare to. All they got is North African, Levantine, and a bunch of far off sub-Saharan population groups. That's all I want to say.
So what am I supposed to be getting a difference between the A group and C group? Right? Like, so what was your big point about how that could be confusing to somebody who doesn't know what to talk? Because all I'm kind of getting, they're almost just giving me location. And I mean, they're speaking a little bit about phenotype, but I don't necessarily want to pin the argument there before I understand those things. So what were you saying was a difference between?
I think the difference between the three, like the Kata 1, 2, and 3, is just the type of material evidence they find, what matches. Like they'll say, they'll have what it appears to be, excuse me, they found a bunch of material evidence and they started grouping them. And they group them according to how they look, what kind of material it is, kind of look, blah, blah, blah. And they start grouping them and they realize, whoa, these material evidences are the same, but this other material evidence are the same, but they don't match the other ones. So it's got to be a different people or a different. That's how they do it. That's because they don't have anything else.
Right. But I'm guessing. I'm trying to read through it so I can actually see what the big difference is. It's saying that the A group was tied to the Nubian elite. That doesn't necessarily give me an indicator of.
I said Nubian land, the land itself, not the
No,
Nubian.
I'm trying to.
Nubian people
No,
are.
well, this is about. Let me tell you how much I know. Right. So what I do know is that for whatever reason, and I believe it's because of the cattle culture, is that like they want to push this Nubian C group up the Nile River, right? They are very sure about how they feel about the Nubian C group. Right now, I don't know why they don't claim the A group the way they claim the C group. And that's what I'm more so trying to get clarity on, because you seem to be not, yeah, you seem to be very cool with claiming the A group, and I'm familiar with people making the same argument and trying to do that with the C group. So that's why I'm trying to figure out where it's.
There's not a lot of strong evidence. You're going now 5,000 BC. No, wait a minute. You're going back 5,000 years BC. You're going way back, and the evidence becomes less and less. You can't really, you know what I'm saying? I'm not crazy. There's not a lot of evidence back then, so you can't really say much about, like, you know what I'm saying? What they were doing. You can't. It's hard to connect. But again, it's the same land. It's probably the same people. You know what I mean? And their stuff changed, it evolved.
It's definitely not the same people.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, the archaeologists don't say it's the same people. Why should I just assume it's the same people? And the archaeologists telling me it's different.
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it are or aren't. I just don't know. I know more about the just before the pre-dynastic, just before.
Well, some of this, what you're saying that you require to know, would make the big distinguisher, right? Because without knowing, you could be calling that same group that you're comfortable with calling invaders as indigenous Egyptians. That's why you would have to understand the difference.
No.
Yes, because as the story unfolds, right? The way the story actually unfolds is that those people just been there a long time and they've been mixing with people around that border, but the original people haven't changed, right? So those people that you could have mistaken for outsiders because of whatever reason could actually fit into those same groups of people who've been there that whole time. So that's why it's so problematic to just lump them all into one thing, right? Because the Egyptologists don't do that, right? So now we're gonna we're gonna claim that we're having this scientific conversation, get away from their nuance, and just blanket all of them as black. A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
No, I didn't do that though. I didn't do that. I consider black people like okay. This is me, okay? This is me, you know, with the stuff that I've read and blah 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 blah. Right? I consider like indigenous people from Africa, black. Okay, you know, I just do. I as a personal, and especially going back 5,000-6,000 years ago, you know, I would say that most people there didn't have like the cultural diversity we have today. You know, everything was kind of, cattle, hunting, not a lot going on. Not like today. We have our culture is crazy right now, very diverse. So I believe that back then, 5,000-6,000 years ago, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody kind of was doing the same thing, you know what I mean? Like they were kind of doing this, and they were all black. They were, because like the studies say that the UV
There you
was
go.
so
They was all
high.
black again.
No, but
There you
listen to
go.
me. Listen to me. Listen to me. They were all black until the invaders came from outside of Africa. And I don't mean black,
Yeah,
pitch black. I mean just, not white, not
can't
European.
run parallel. That can't run parallel with the statement of
Why not?
because I'm about to tell you, because there is a Western Asian component to the North African. Like you can't
later.
remove that. You can't.
That's later.
No, it's not later. No, it's not later. It's actually before this. That West African, that West Asian component was in North Africa before all of that shit.
Yeah,
That's what I'm keep telling you. You could be talking about a population that's heavily saturated with West Asian, and you don't even know that.
We're talking about two different things now. You're talking about back and forth migrations happening for 30,000-40,000 years up in the North Africa. I'm talking about little old Nubian land over there with little old cave art and little old writing on wood and doing tiny little hieroglyphics on rock art, on wood, on ivory.
You're double talking now. You double talking now because you just made a statement about the other people invading, and then when I said no, I'm talking about mixing that happened before all of that, so that they would have had this North. They would have had the Western Asian component long before all of what you're talking about.
No, that you would have to have evidence. Right now, the evidence doesn't show that.
So there's no evidence of human migration 50,000 years ago between North Egypt and West Asia.
North,
ain't
yes.
None of that?
I'm not.
Okay, so did the people stop walking? Did they got right there and stopped moving?
Egypt is not in North Africa yet. They're migrating up the Nile. It's not even Delta is not.
When was there ever a time where Egypt was not in North Africa?
Of course, there was time. It wasn't. It was in the formation of Egypt in the south.
So you said so Egypt was.
Are you saying that Egypt was formed in the Delta? Are you saying that Egypt was formed in Mediterranean?
Oh my God! Why you keep changing the argument, bro?
I'm not. I'm talking about the beginning of Egypt. That didn't happen nowhere in the north. None of that happened.
No, right now we some kind of way got off the C groups for you to do that, right? Yes, you did that.
The C group is 4,000 BC. You're going all over the place. When you talk about these groups that don't have names, you're going back 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 BC. You're going way back.
Right. And I'm saying that you can see the Western Asian component 50,000 years ago. So if you can go back 5,000 years, I would need to go back another 45 so we can talk about who is not indigenous.
You're not gonna do this, bro. I mean, Logic, because you staying up in North Africa. I'm not talking about North Africa. I'm talking about South.
So how you gonna talk about Egypt and not talk about North Africa, bro?
Look, man, I'm trying to tell you that what you're talking about is in another region, not in the North Africa. It's in South. You're mentioning A, B, and C. That's South.
I don't even know how to respond no more. Like I don't know
You should have been
I don't
stopped.
know what you're
Because
talking about.
no, because you're saying migrations, and yeah, they occurred those, but they occurred up in
Right.
North Africa, up
You're
there.
operating under the premise that there is no shared culture. Like that's how you're kind of getting it. You're basically saying that there was no culture in Egypt before Nubians got there. Like that's how you're saying it. So
Egypt
since I
wasn't
don't
even
agree,
Egypt didn't
so since
exist.
I don't agree, and nor am I actually talking about that, right? I
Egypt,
don't really know how to reply to you because I keep trying to get you back on understanding that there's a West Asian component to North Africa. And you're
I
saying
agree.
that
I agree to that.
okay. So
I agree.
with that being said,
Not
how are you identifying who these invaders are?
oh, crazy. The context that you're framing is within the North African region. Okay, things can happen in the North African region for a long, long time, and it don't have to affect anything that's happening in the South. In the South.
Chef, can you help
Brad.
translate this?
There's no
I don't know what's
evidence.
happening.
What's
There's
up,
Hey,
bro?
no
Brad,
North
Chief X
African.
writing a long ass reply to your shit. Whatever you just said.
I don't want to fuck up the conversation because it's completely separate, bro. I just watched like 3 minutes of that
You
documentary.
crazy for watching that shit.
Wait, check this out. I'm gonna tell you how sensitive and weak I am. George Floyd, you know they say he stole. I ain't trying to. It's actually good to hear from you. Y'all can go back to this conversation in 2 seconds. But the where they said he spent the fake money and he's sitting in the car and the first cop go to pull him over. I mean, pull him out the car, and he starts crying because the cop got his gun out. I'm so damn weak. I can't even get past that part. I don't even want to watch no more after that. The man started off like remembering how he got murdered. I can't do it. I
Chief
can't do it.
X, Chief X
Yeah,
is
I can't do it. I had to turn that
individual.
shit off. I deleted that shit from my what's the name so it wouldn't stay in my algorithm. Because he was already like in tears. But y'all go ahead. I ain't trying to mess it up.
I'm lost. I need Chef to bring this around so I can understand what he's saying.
I just looked up one thing. Maybe I messed it up with my chat GPT and all the time. But are you saying that Egypt never developed in the South? Ever?
No, so I'm saying that the South brings elements to Egypt, right? But to say that Egypt isn't its own thing, independent of Nubia, that's not true. You can find cultural influence back and forth, but you would still make a distinguishment between the two.
Okay, because it sounded like you were saying it never developed in the South at all. And
No, I'm not saying that. So what he's saying is that it entirely developed in the South. That's what he's saying.
I don't think that would be right, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's cultural influence in both directions. And if you look at Egypt has cultural influence from all directions, north, south, east, and west.
But I don't think he's saying that either, though.
The problem with that is you don't find outside cultures in in Egypt. You just don't.
You see so he disagreeing that Egypt got cultural influences from the north. So he disagreeing with that.
When do you what time period are you talking about?
Any time period.
I'm not. What are you talking about?
I'm
Me or
talking
him?
to him when he said you don't find any outside cultures.
I don't find any non-African cultures in Africa. I don't.
Okay. I don't know. I'm just talking. I can't help you on this conversation.
You know what I'm saying? Like if anyone can show me, look, bro, this is practiced in 11 Levant, and they're doing it here. The only evidence I see is when the Hyksos came and they started doing human sacrifices, and then one of the real Egyptians or one of the Egyptian pharaohs.
Real Egyptians is crazy.
I didn't mean to say that. You know,
yeah. See what I'm saying? He keeps slipping up and not owning up to none of his slip ups.
He caught himself.
No, because I don't really call the invading pharaohs like really, because they were against everything. They didn't. It's why Egypt fell, and they were just doing their own thing. But Yeah. So if anyone could see me, show me like evidence, like, look, bro, they're doing this stuff here, doing this stuff here. I don't see that. I don't see that anywhere.
It says non-Africans were present, especially in the north via trade, but they did not create
Absolutely.
Egyptian. Hold on, but it says, but they did not create Egyptian civilization. They entered into a system already being built by Africans in the Nile Valley.
That's what I'm saying.
Will that move the conversation forward?
No, I don't disagree with that.
That's what I'm saying, though.
The nuance would be the cultural influence from the
Yes.
different directions. You can see, you know, I don't know exactly what's the specific thing, but I've definitely heard the Egyptologists say not only can you find migration from all the different directions, they have cultural influence.
Yeah. Like I'm trying to tell people, like, you know,
Right. So if you can acknowledge that they migrated from all directions, how are you still calling them all
genetic,
black?
because you're talking about again, North Africa. That didn't happen a lot all the way out there down in the south. That was happening in North Africa because it's close to Mediterranean and all the other places that are up there. But down there it was isolated to an extent. They weren't going down there that far. They eventually did, but they weren't like, you know, shit was inhabitable.
Hey, can I ask you a question real quick? What made you speak today?
Because like
You never participate. So I'm just
because
curious. What did they say that made you?
Because you guys were struggling with Nubian people came thousands of years later, but the land itself, Nubian land, has been there forever. And so even though the Nubian people came later, there were other people there, and we called them the Group A culture. That's their name. You call them that.
I was talking. Mm-hmm. You chopped and screwed, G.
Mikata 1, Mikata 2.
Yes, those call them that. Those names, because that identifies legit land, time, and material evidence. Everything else is BS. You know what I'm saying? Because we weren't there to do the work, so we got to do with what they got.
Now,
when people
Brass,
say
you've been around long enough to hear people brag about this pure African that's not mixed, that made his way up the Nile, that would be responsible for all this Ma'at and peacekeeping and all this shit. So now to hear him some sort of a way identify people who we like they would have to be the people with the West Asian component, because like you say, they've been there, right? So they've been there, they've been with the people that's mixing because they're already in North Africa. So they would have already had that North African component, or at least that West Asian component, because they've been there, right? But you're saying that somebody invaded them and created Egypt. That's what you're saying, right?
The people that were up, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Non-African people. You're talking about when you say North African,
right?
I'm
so
thinking
now
African.
you're saying the A groups are non-African, right?
No. Wait. Let me define what I'm saying.
So you gotta understand. He's using a scientific term. Hold on, let me explain it for you, brother. They losing you, brother. He's using non-African is a scientific term, right? Non-African doesn't mean not African, right? So you can be. They call that. That's
that
how
might
they
not
refer
be
to
what
those.
he mean, Corey.
Okay, all right. But I just know they sometimes. North Africans are referred to scientifically as non-African. Just to let y'all know that. Okay. You know what I mean? That don't mean that they're not indigenous Africans.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I just want that to be.
Okay. Well, then I mean indigenous Africans. I mean indigenous Africans. So
right.
whether
so
they're
whole time. With my fault. I don't good. You got to finish this. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah. So if they're North African and Persians came, the Persians invaded who? the North Africans. When the Romans came, who did they invade? Whoever was there. Then the Arabs and then the Greeks and the whole thing. They they were
Right.
all
So right. So when you say the original Egyptians, you're talking about everything that comes from the south, the people too.
Group A. Group
That's
A.
what you say.
Group A.
No, that's
Group
Group
A.
C.
Group A.
Group C would be the people who come up out of Nubia into North Africa.
Yeah,
Group A would be the
but
people
I
who've
don't.
been there the whole time,
Yeah,
right?
but if I talk Group C, I'm gonna lose everybody.
No, but that's clear right there, right? Group
Yeah,
A would be the people who've been there, and Group C would be the people who come up out of Nubia, right?
I believe that Group C, Group B, Group A, they're all the same people, but different. They learn different. Time went by. Thousands of years go by. We're not talking about 200 years. We're talking about each of those Nakata, like 1,000 years, 1,500 apart. It's a lot of time apart. So people change,
All
cultures
right.
change.
Let me say it this way. So the group that you're trying to say that were not the original Egyptians are the people who are heavily.
Hello. I'm
So
sorry.
you saying, yeah, so you saying the people who are not heavily mixed with the Western Asian, right? Those would be those lighter skinned people, regardless of what group they fall on. You're saying that those are not the original Egyptians, like just plain out. That's what you're saying.
I think that the original Egyptian religion, right, was from the Group A, and then when those people that came from the middle of Africa because of desertification, they looked different. They had a different phenotype. They did look different. They had a different morphology. When they came in, they took on the existing culture. And what do they do to real black folks as usual? They fucking what is the word? That's what M. Marginalize them. And that's what you see on the walls. That's what you see on the walls is Egyptians that came in from the center of Africa due to the desertification, marginalizing the ones that already were there. And then the ones came from like Romans and the Persians. You know what I'm saying? So when people say 3200 BC, I say that's when Egypt died, 3200 BC, not when it started, because that's when the decline occurred. But I mean, that's a different thing because I believe that Egypt lasted a lot longer.
Logic,
I know that's not going crazy. That's you know what?
to all of this.
Forget I even said that. Forget
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, bro?
Forget that, bro.
Did y'all hear that? Yo.
Forget what I said that. Forget what I said that. History is long, bro.
You can't scratch that from the. You can't scratch that from the record. He said the decline of Egypt started with the unification of the two lands, yo. That was the start of the decline. He said.
Yeah, that's what
How
I
can
believe.
that not be funny to y'all? How can that not be absolutely hilarious?
Yo,
I don't know.
That's my own. Yo, wait up. That's not for you to spread. That's my own little thing. I'll let you. I'll let you guys in on something that I believe. I don't be out there spreading.
I ain't gonna tell nobody, yo. Trust me. I'm not gonna tell nobody.
But I believe, because I've read a lot. I've read a whole bunch. I read some of the like the Palermo stone and a bunch of the lists that the Egyptians have. They go for a long time. They go for a long ass time. That's all I'll say.
All right.
No, I think that's dope. Rather than attack that, I think that's kind of dope. Because I would assume y'all all do that. When you read a lot, you'll know what the actual answer is, but that's what the reading's supposed to do. It's supposed to, kind of give you Like, well, wait a minute. I kind of think this is this or this is that. So I'm not. I
And
don't
then
think
your
I would.
brain is working.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
isolate
Like
my
you read, if
craziness.
you read enough history, you'll start seeing shit like, man.
Yeah, you'll start to draw
hold on.
connections.
Yeah,
Well, hold on, but I isolate
I
isolate
get
my
exactly what
craziness.
he's saying when it comes to that, but you don't always want to share it though. That's the
No,
part
no,
I
but I
understand.
feel
Because you're like,
I
yeah, this is
isolate.
me. This ain't the reading.
Yeah,
This is me. This
yeah.
is what I'm doing.
This
Yeah, I
is
get you
something
on
that
that.
You know, if you look, you don't even have to read much. If you look at all the kings lists, they go for thousands and thousands of years. They just do. Why would they write different lists with different kings? Why would they do that? You know, and then later on, Christian apologists, Christian like Africanus, Eusebius, I'm sure you guys have heard of him. They shrunk the Egyptian time period to 6,000 years. Y'all don't know that. There was Eusebius, Africanus, and another early Christian guy. These three guys, they got together and they said, you know what? The Egyptian story is way too long. It don't fit ours. We're going to have to shrink it. And that's what they did.
Somebody get Chief X in here.
Nah, hey, I appreciate you participating, bro. Whenever you want to come back, participate again. Listen,
Thank you, brother.
Chief's gonna fuck up the whole conversation, bro.
I
Hey,
want
yeah, I
that
appreciate you
conversation.
too, Ancient. I appreciate
Thank you,
that was a
brother.
good conversation.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, yeah. I want that conversation. Chief X is out of his mind.
Hey, so did you see what I put in there? Did you see what I put in? Systemic racism earlier. I put it in there about 6 o'clock this morning or something.
Didn't know I didn't see
I
it.
ain't listening
I
to none
probably
of y'all
just was
But
going back to sleep. What'd you put in there?
So I put in a thing from I kind of asked Google about the systemic racism, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the funny part is, like, it gave a list. It gave like a PowerPoint type list, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that PowerPoint type list, right, it was all the things that we was talking about yesterday. So like, it's just what I said yesterday, bro. I ain't gonna just switch you right ahead. You
chopped and screwed, G. And you know what's crazy about when Corey get chopped up? It's always when he about to say the most important shit. Everybody else get chopped up at random times. His gets chopped up as soon as he about to start cooking. I should be like, yeah, let me snatch a second. I want to hear this shit. No,
I'm not getting like that. I did put my up today. I don't know.
We can't hear you, Corey. When you get free, just drop it. I'm looking at the list now. The GI Bill, urban renewal, all this shit is exactly what we was talking about. But if he gonna come in here and talk about George Floyd, that's just I don't think that's gonna be good.
Show y'all how racist he is.
Oh,
First,
man.
he start with there's no such thing as racism and systemic racism. Now he about to attack George Floyd. If a person tell you who they is, believe them.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all heard him yesterday, but when
it doesn't. I'm thinking like it's today the anniversary or something. Who the hell?
But if y'all remember, yo,
George Floyd,
he just wake up feeling like that, yo. But if you remember yesterday when I asked him, yo, so why black people got bad credit, right? That was such a good trick question because he started to speak his heart, right? He started to go with, man, why do Chinese people got high scores on the thing and shit, right? He was about to make an argument that make all niggas stupid. And then he caught himself and cleaned it up. I don't know if y'all caught that shit, but that's exactly what he said, right? And we got back into systemic racism, but he started off with his underlying premise, he think black people stupid. That's exactly where he was coming from.
You know why everybody calls the IQ conversation racism? Because as soon as somebody is trying to prove something, they go straight to it. Mm-hmm. Like if it's something derogatory towards black people, like black people can't do this, black people can't do that, they usually go into, well, what about the Asian IQ? It's like, so, like, what did that got to do with what we talking about right now? It's systemic racism. The argument in and of itself is wrong on its face. You don't really got to go much further past that. To say that there's no systemic racism anymore, then that's just that statement. You can stop there. If you want to have the conversation, you can have it, but you can stop right there. The conversation don't make sense. It's like saying there's no more air and there's no more hydrogen in oxygen or something. Like it's just like you can't do it, because even if you were to say they weren't redlining anymore, which they still are, what about the people that still live in them redline neighborhoods? Are they not still feeling the effects of systemic racism when they go to sell their house? Or when their kids go to school? When they in food deserts? You know, it's just not reality. And then when he said something yesterday that was amazing. He said he's a realtor, so he's an expert. If I ever say that to y'all, keep me out of the Discord. If I ever tell y'all I sold however many, or I bought however many, or my portfolio is this, and that makes me an expert,
on race.
Yeah, just kick me out of the Discord. Even if it says, even if I say that and I say it makes me an expert on realty. Realty changes so much. There are no real experts. There are experts, and we go watch them to go figure out what neighborhoods to go to first, who's about to get this. We go find the experts. Just because a motherfucker that work at Popeyes is not a chicken expert. He just works at Popeyes. That's it. He fries chicken. He ain't no fried chicken expert.
Nigga, I'm about to make some lamb chops.
Nigga, it's 11:45.
Yeah,
What the fuck you got going on?
I was supposed to make them last night, right? So now this morning, I'm gonna just have lamb chops and grits. That shit gonna be so
That
good.
is so Baltimore of you. So I would never in life say it, but it sounds amazing, and I'm gonna try it. But damn, but there's no way.
Try it. Lamb
I'm gonna try it.
chops
I'm gonna damn sure
and
try it.
and grits.
Hey, listen. If you heard that and didn't say that you would even consider trying that, you don't know nothing about food. I'm gonna consider it. I promise you that.
That is a bougie fucking country ass meal. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Niggas eat steak and grits though, right?
Yeah.
Steak and ribs and grits, yeah. I'm not.
So nigga, I'm about to do lamb and grits.
How you eat your grits?
What? Butter and salt and pepper.
You say you can't put sugar in your grits?
No, I don't put no sugar
one of
in my
them people?
grits. Since I was a kid, I used to do that when I was 8 years old. My palate didn't change, nigga. That's crazy.
No, I still do.
You want some cream of wheat?
I like that too. And
I like cream of wheat. That's the only reason I'm putting sugar.
Ask Corey about them cold Midwest mornings with this motherfucking 2 degrees outside. You eat whatever they put in front of your ass.
Yeah, I don't do.
We call it malto meal.
Yeah, malto meal too.
Hey,
you can call it whatever you want. Farina, malto meal, grits, quick grits, slow grits, rolled stone oats.
Nah, I don't fuck with no farina. Farina, that's some slave shit.
When it's cold outside, you're gonna eat what's put in front of you. I didn't grow up with too many options.
when it's negative 25, negative 25 hours, you ain't talking about what you don't fuck with, bro.
I ain't fucking with that today, Mom. And I don't want no cold ass bowl of cereal if it's already cold outside. I want some hot shit. But I'm gonna try to.
Chief X, what it do?
What's that?
Can you just answer one question? Not about the documentary, just another question.
Sure.
What made you wake up this morning and post the fall of Minneapolis? Like what was on your mind that you was like, you know what? I think the Discord needs to check out this documentary. What happened? Was this a prior conversation or what we talked about yesterday?
No, I got a notification on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
It
Okay.
was a comment. You know, you comment on a video, and
No,
somebody
I
responds
get
to
you.
your comment, you get a notification. So
I
that
get
just
you. That makes sense.
sparked my interest in it. I said to myself, I wonder because most people haven't seen it. I remember I shared it on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and on Facebook, people hadn't even know this documentary is out. And after they watch it, everybody was shook. So I know it's great content and something good to listen to. And it's not like, I'm not a person I don't do the feelings and opinion. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
sincere truth seeker, and I want to know the truth. So it's nothing about feelings. It's no opinion. This video documentary is straight evidence and fact based.
Where did the documentary leave you as far as the George Floyd case? Was it that the cops were innocent? I'm gonna watch it, and I'm not trying to talk about the documentary. I'm just talking about what did it. I want to kind of go into it, not with completely open eyes. What is the gist of what are they trying to say that George Floyd deserved it? Are they trying to say the cops were innocent? What are they trying to say?
I'm a decent human being with great morals. No one deserves to be harmed. Okay, so you got to know that first of all. Okay. So I've been trying to tell people for the last damn near 10 years that every 4 years there's a political case that divides the nation. Then you have the liberals on one side, the conservatives on one side, and it's a fight for your vote. And this goes on in America every 4 years. Right before the presidency, they bring up some gun case and some some shit, and it just causes conversations and a stir about what's going on politically and police brutality, George Floyd, and all that kind of stuff drums up every 4 years, and it's a fight for your vote. So I always been telling people there's always every 4 years some huge political case that's going to come about, and this case is always manipulated in court for political purposes, and they don't care who fries or who burns. This is for political purposes.
What's the one before this?
More
before that.
Well, one was what's the black girl and her boyfriend who got shot?
Oh, Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor, and people are clueless about this case. People had no clue that the girl's boyfriend then shot through the goddamn door and shot a cop. Just blasted a cop just for knocking on the door. Then they shot back, and that's how she got killed. But people don't even know that. So that was a huge political case.
People do know that. Hold on. That was a part of the case.
Some people do. Huh?
That was a part of the case. How did somebody miss that?
Right. Some people do know it.
The whole thing in the trial was that the police did not announce themselves correctly.
Right. So it goes deeper than that. It's a documentary on that. I'm not going to discuss that, but it's a deep documentary on that one too.
So the documentary on George Floyd is alleging that he died from complications unrelated to the guy Colvin, the police officer Colvin, right?
No, well, the Hennepin County Examiner's Office said it was related to drug overdose.
Right. No. The first thing that you posted, did you read it?
Yeah, when I posted
the CNN post. The CNN post.
Let me clear it up so you understand what I posted. I posted a CNN clip of them talking about it. I didn't give no opinion. And
not the clip. Did you read the article?
Corey, listen, I'm not Corey. I'm sorry. I'm about to be done. I'm gonna tell you. Listen, I took a clip and copy and pasted a clip from CNN and posted, and then I posted the article. So you guys would have to argue with CNN in the Hennepin County, not me. I'm not doing nothing.
So you want to read the article? Let's read the article right now.
We can do that.
And see if it agrees with what you're saying. The CNN article that you posted.
Y'all want to do that right now?
I'm sure. Like, what else do you want to go back and talk about Egypt?
Yeah, we can do it, but I would prefer then that would be you're drawing me into talking about the documentary when no one has watched it yet. I would just prefer people to watch it. Maybe tomorrow we can have the discussions.
So what about the? Okay, we can do that. But what was the CNN? What was the CNN article proving?
The CNN article, it was just an article I ran across, and they were talking about how the county said his cause of death was. But when the court case goes, this is what, when the court case finished, that's what the result was. They had to get other second opinions to go against that.
Yeah, you didn't read that article.
Huh?
You didn't read that article.
I read the article, Chef Reen. I don't post something I don't
read. Let's read it right now. Let's read. Let's
No, Chef Reen. I'm just asking, Chef Reen. That will lead us to talking about the George Floyd case. I'm just saying. Hold on, Chef. I'm asking. Can we just talk about this tomorrow when people watch the documentary? It's very important.
I already read it. I mean, I already watched it. I'm ready to talk about it now.
No, you didn't. It's an hour and a half, and I just posted it 20 minutes ago. Stop it. So that's a reasonable request. Let's have the discussion tomorrow when people have watched the documentary. This is just a reasonable.
I've seen that last year, though. G-Vip.
Okay, well. So I don't think people say that, but I've had this conversation. People may watch 10 minutes and click off because their mind is already set and they don't want to hear it. So they just go in denial and making up shit and lying. If somebody has watched it and having the conversation, I can tell by the conversation if you watched it because you're going to be talking about the stuff in the documentary. You're not going to be talking about
we got 3 people that's familiar with it. We can talk about what we do know, right?
Okay, no, I'm not talking about it until y'all watch that. And
I don't think you're prepared to have a conversation.
You didn't watch it.
So you're telling me I gotta read Dr. Ben, Black Man of the Nile, in order to have a conversation that his premise about the ancient Egyptians being black is wrong?
No. The documentary.
So I don't need to watch a whole documentary that's exonerating Chauvin when we can go ahead and get to this right now.
The documentary is not about.
You are to believe that the documentary is
why I know you didn't watch it. This is why I know you didn't watch it.
I don't have to watch it.
Yes, you do.
Bro, if you can prove the points in the documentary, just prove the points in the documentary.
I can't prove the points in the documentary because I don't have the paperwork and the court paperwork.
So
it's in the documentary.
Oh man, it's
like this. It's like this. It's like this. Remember, I did a presentation.
So you can't substantiate nothing in the documentary.
You
just want us to believe the documentary.
I'm clarify my point. Listen to what I'm saying. Remember, I did a presentation on Dr. Sebi's court case, all right? When he was in court for claiming that he cured AIDS back in the day, right? It is impossible to have that discussion unless you just watch and read the court document and the paperwork and see what they were saying. Other than that, people just be going off their opinion and feelings and all this whole bullshit. So I'm just saying, just watch the evidence in the documentary.
Oh my God. So the CNN post that you posted don't have the evidence in it?
The CNN post states what the Henneman County coroner's office said, and they tell you what they feel his cause of death was. That's all I'm doing.
A homicide.
That's it. You didn't read the CNN documentary then. That's what I'm saying. So you bullshit.
So let's read it right now.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
But I
somebody is wrong right here.
We're going back and forth, and nobody's respecting the people's feelings. Now, somebody say, "I'd rather this, and let's discuss tomorrow." So, okay, we'll discuss tomorrow. Like, what's the big deal? Why are you so gung ho on just having this conversation now?
I'm tired of talking about Egypt, and you. Okay, I want to talk about this now. I want to have this conversation.
Right. So be patient.
I'm excited about it. I don't
know. No, you're not. You have bad intent. Your intent is to attack me.
Right.
QC, this is what Chief is. He's a coon. This is your intent.
Right.
Your intent is a gotcha moment. You don't have true intent. Your intent is kind of shady. I already
Come
know
on,
how you
Chief
niggas
X.
is. No,
Come on,
trust
Chief
me,
X.
I know it ain't
nothing but
Don't do me like that.
No, I know you, Chef. Chef cannot wait for me to move the
I'm on
debate.
the edge of my seat about it. I'm on the edge of my seat about the conversation.
Okay, so
That
so-
nigga saw right through that bullshit, Chef.
right.
I'm teasing
Since
with
everybody's on the edge of their
anticipation.
seat, then take your time
I'm actually
and watch the
teasing with
documentary, and
anticipation.
let's discuss it tomorrow.
Yo, why is you doing this, Chief X?
I'm not doing nothing. I'm
Get
just
it.
letting you know how I feel.
You already got your position, yo. Let's go.
I don't have a position.
You do. You
Yeah,
agree with the documentary.
Why am I going to discuss
That's your
something? I don't
position.
No, I don't know what you guys' position is because you haven't watched it.
I disagree with the documentary.
No, you don't disagree. You don't disagree with the truth, Chef Ron. You do not disagree with the truth when it's presented to you. I know
Listen. So you now you're putting us in a position where if that documentary is the truth, why is Chauvin locked the fuck up?
That's a question we will talk about after you watch it. Then you'll understand.
So you don't believe in the justice system? America is corrupt.
I do
So
not.
if
I do not
America
believe,
is corrupt against,
I do not believe in the justice system when it's a hot political case for people's vote. They manipulate it in court. So every now and then you'll have a case I do not trust in court.
so if they can be unjust against the white boy George Floyd, then they can be unjust against black people. So
Exactly.
the system is fucked up.
No.
What?
Nothing's perfect. If you're saying if the system is perfect, no, nothing is perfect. Everything has human error.
So hold on. So the system got it wrong against Chauvin, right?
Now, I don't think the system got it wrong. I think people manipulating and being con artists and having an agenda got shit wrong.
So that's not the system?
People misuse the system for your vote.
Oh. So the system can't correct itself.
Not on the case when people are dead set to find dirt or cover up dirt. That's what's gonna happen. System or not, if they don't want to show you the motherfucking Epstein files, system don't fucking matter. You won't see the fucking Epstein files.
It ain't no Epstein files.
No, I'm just saying people have agendas, and that's just that person acting up in a system. It's an individual tripping for a particular moment.
All right, so look, let's go read this article together.
I just said I don't want to do that.
It's a prelim, not the video, just the article, the CNN article.
Right, but what that's gonna cause
is getting us ready for the conversation tomorrow.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this right now, and bet me. I bet my white one. This is gonna cause conversation for the next 3 hours about the George Floyd case. If we read that, we will be here for 3 hours talking about George Floyd. This is what I know you niggas. So why not just table it for tomorrow? Brass, are you still here?
No, we want to talk. We want to have. You don't have to have a conversation,
Okay,
but we want to read the CNN documentary.
Something you didn't watch. Fine.
No, but you posted the CNN article.
Well, you guys can have the conversation about the CNN article and read what I wrote. I posted in the chat. They can read it.
I know that's what we about to read.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
It's just going to tell you what Hennepin County said.
Okay.
They're just going to say, hey, they think it was because of a bunch of drugs and shit.
No. No. What the hell? Did you delete it?
No.
All right, bye. Yeah, I was on the phone, bro. What's going on?
Yes, I was just saying, Brad, I would prefer us to have the conversation about this tomorrow after, and be patient after people watch the
Conversation
video.
about what? I'm not the documentary. I need a couple days. That's like an hour, and I'll try to watch it today.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's no rush, is what I'm saying. 2 days from now.
But you said you want to come tomorrow.
No. We can have the conversation 3-4 days from now.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
just saying
okay,
I
okay.
want people to listen. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem at all. I'm gonna
Yeah,
watch.
but we
Is it
can read the
reality
CNN
TV?
article now. No, we don't have
What
to.
CNN article y'all talking about?
He posted a CNN article that he's saying shows that it was that the Henneman coroner's office said it was because of drugs and a heart condition.
Yeah,
Uh huh. That's what he's
first,
saying.
yeah,
That's
the
what he
first,
said.
yeah. See, the people. This is why people don't even know this. This is how court fooled people so bad.
But we about to read the article.
No, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it for you right now. Matter of fact, since
No,
you
I'm
just
gonna
want to
read
do
it.
it.
I'm gonna read. I don't trust you.
I'll read it. I'll read it. Don't trust. But I just want Brass to understand, because a lot of people don't know this. The initial autopsy report by Henneman County Medical Examiner's Office said it's because he had a bad heart and he overdosed on drugs, because he did. The video shows him swallowing fentanyl. This is the third time he's done that over years. He swallowed a bunch of fentanyl and it fucked him up.
He was
I know a
drunk
bunch
too.
of
They said he
people
was.
who swallow drugs and it fucks them up. Your heart rate gets to palpitating. Your heart rate goes up. I'm an ex-dope fiend. If I did some drugs and crack and I got into an incident with the police, my heart is racing. It feels like I'm about to have a goddamn heart attack. And this is what George Floyd was going through when he was being arrested. Before he was even put on the ground, they're showing George Floyd is saying, hold on. George Floyd is saying, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Before he was on the floor, before there was even a knee on his neck. Why was he saying that? He was saying that because his heart was racing and he was paranoid.
All right, so the CNN article that Chief exposed, the title says heart disease fentanyl contributed to George Floyd's death, but were not the main cause, medical examiner says. That's the opening headline. Do you disagree with that yet, Chief X?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm saying now.
No. That's not what you were saying. That's not what you were saying.
Exactly what I'm saying.
This said it contributed. Heart disease and fentanyl contributed to George Floyd's death, but was not the main cause, according to the medical examiner.
Hold on, I'm gonna read it for you.
Oh my God!
I think one of the things that it's always an issue with that autopsy is there was two autopsies. One is the one that y'all reading about, but the family had their own autopsy.
Right.
And cardiopulmonary arrest technically is why anyone dies. Like your heart stops. That's all it is. It's not a sign of anything. It's just cardiopulmonary arrest. So when you use that, that's the reason why they got a private they commissioned their own examiner, because just that statement in and of itself.
But they wasn't in disagreement though, Brass.
What you
mean?
mean?
No, hold on.
If you read the whole thing, he must have just watched this video clip and didn't read this article.
Where's the article at? Is this on stream? Is this on your stream? Is this what you got right now?
No. I don't know who's sharing their screen.
Somebody share the article, because somebody got to be able to see it live. Because somebody share their screen and
hold on, I got it. I got it. Listen, Chef Friend, I'm granting your wit. What you read was CNN's title of the article, right? You're reading CNN now. CNN is biased to the second.
All right, I'm done.
Let him finish.
You posted this.
No, now what the caption I have on this article is from the Henneman County, not CNN.
Right.
Henneman County. I put the clip straight from Henneman County. Listen, the Henneman County Medical Examiner's official autopsy made no mention of asphyxiation as a cause of death, which has been a key pillar in the prosecutor's case. In contrast,
explain that to you?
Independent autopsy commissioned by Floyd's family, said he died of asphyxiation, okay, from a sustained pressure when his neck back. But I'm telling you directly, the Hennepin County didn't mention that in their initial first autopsy. I'm
All right, so
not
let's read it.
changing.
Let's
Damn.
read the CNN. Let's read
I'm
the
an
CNN.
honest person. I don't have to lie and jive.
All right,
and
calm
swing
down. Listen, you're not lying.
Okay, but you should know me though, right now. I'll be pissed because you know how I am. And you're trying to assassinate my character like I'm trying to trick people, and you know I don't do that.
I don't know that. But listen, let's just read the article. Let's just read the article without your feeling.
Now, I will read the article. The article says heart disease, fentanyl contributed to George Floyd's death, but were not the main cause, or medical examiner says. Right? What they're saying is it was one of the causes. There's no main cause. They're all together contributed. Okay? CNN, George Floyd's heart disease and use of fentanyl were contributing factors to his death. This is a fucking fact. But they were not the direct cause. The medical examiner who performed his autopsy testified Friday on the trial of former police officer Derek Chauvin.
Is there other facts in there? Is there? Hold on. You said fentanyl heart disease was the contributing factor. That's a fucking fact. You said that's a fucking fact. Now, is the rest of the paragraph a fucking fact? Is the rest of the paragraph a fucking fact?
And once I begin to read the article, he wants to.
No, is the rest of the paragraph a fucking fact? You interjected that into that.
Let me read the article.
You could have just read the shit. Chief X, listen.
I'm trying to read it now, Chef.
Listen. Give me a second. If you just read it clean, right? I wouldn't have no disagreement. But you stopped in the middle and said that's a fucking fact.
And then you sure that you guys understand something. I'm just giving clarity.
No, you said
clarity. Damn.
Listen. Hold on. If you're gonna read something, just let me get it out. I'm gonna let you read it. If you're gonna read something and then emphasize something in a paragraph and say that's a fucking fact, right? But then when the paragraph finished and make its overall point, you don't say that's a fucking fact. You're doing something here.
Okay. Can I finish now, Chef? Okay.
Go ahead.
Can you not dictate how I read so I can finish this and get through it?
Fucking fact is not in the paragraph.
Okay, but let me read the article. Just be quiet.
You're putting shit that's not in the paragraph. I gotta let people know that.
Okay, you said it already. You said it already. You need to say it more time.
Chief, real quick.
Hey man, I can't follow this shit. All this yelling, bro. What the hell?
Yeah, understand. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Chief X, understand. Chef is going to try to trigger you, bro. Stop screaming. We can't understand what you're saying. So just now go ahead and talk.
Okay, cool. So
start over.
Hold on. Let me read it. Let me finish reading it. So let's not play mind games and try to trigger people. You asked me to read the article. I'm reading it.
I'm already triggered. But I'm already triggered.
How many? You're still interrupting me.
Don't fall for it.
But I'm triggered. You already triggered me though.
So how are you intelligent?
Bro, let him go, bro.
Easily triggered, bro. Just you know what he's doing.
Just let him go. Jeff, I want to hear what he got to say.
So y'all gonna protect his feelings.
Hold on.
Protect his feelings.
You ain't got no feelings.
But y'all gonna give a fuck about me being triggered.
You ain't got no
crazy.
You ain't got no feelings, bro. I'm not about to make sure your feelings is enough.
Why are people talking?
Go ahead, Chief. Read, bro.
Okay, if we're trying to read something, in every sentence someone interrupts you, well, I mean, you gotta say they need to calm down. Just let me read this article.
When you said that was a fucking
we muted out. Chief, go ahead.
You stopped reading and you said that's a fucking fact.
I'm muting them out. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Go ahead, Chief. Just read, bro. Jesus Christ. Go ahead, Chief. Damn.
Now, before Okay, are you guys ready now?
Yes, I'm gonna mute myself out. Anybody talking?
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Because people know when I get to spitting, I'm spitting some real shit, and they're trying to interrupt it so this real shit won't come out. Before I started reading this article, I said his heart was palpitating. People be scared when they're on drugs. Their heart's beating fast, and all it takes is an interaction with the police to run it over the top. I said this before I started reading the article. So before I started reading the article, I'm already talking about contributing factors. People are not listening to me. People are trying to act like I'm just wrong. No, I'm saying all this.
He ain't started reading again yet, y'all.
George Floyd's heart disease and use of fentanyl were contributing factors to his death. But they were not the direct cause, the medical examiner who performed his autopsy testified on Friday in the trial of former police officer Derek Chauvin. Hennepin County Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Andrew Baker ruled Floyd's death last May a homicide and identified the case as cardiopulmonary arrest that occurred during enforcement subdual, restraint, and neck compression. What was it? Cardiopulmonary arrest. Hold on, my screen went. Okay. Asked about the autopsy and Floyd's death certificate, Baker described the top line of the cause of death as what you think is the most important thing that precipitated the death. So they were talking about what precipitated the death. Other things that you think played a role in the death, but were not direct causes, get relegated to what is known as the other significant conditions, part of the death certificate, he said. For example, Mr. Floyd's use of fentanyl did not cause the subdual or neck restraint. His heart disease did not cause the subdual or neck restraint. Floyd had hypertensive heart disease, Baker said, meaning his heart weighed more than it should. This meant Floyd's heart needed more oxygen than a normal heart and was limited in its ability to provide more oxygen when there was demand for it. Meaning when he went through that situation, there was a demand for him to get more oxygen within the person in his condition that swallowed dope and shit. Okay. In the midst of the altercation and being held to the ground, adrenaline would pour into the body, Baker said, making the heart beat faster. I said this before I even read this article because I have experience with my heart beating faster when I'm on drugs. Okay. In my opinion, the law enforcement subdual restraint and the neck compression was just more than Floyd could take by virtue of those heart conditions, he said. Chauvin's defense attorney, Eric Nelson, has argued that Floyd died as a result of drugs and pre-existing health conditions. And under cross-examination, Baker said he believed those factors played a note. Now, let me just pause for a second and interject something. Because in America, Black America, they didn't want to hear any other reason for his cause of death except the knee. The knee on the neck has never really caused any deaths in America. It really hasn't. That was like the second incident ever I've known of a knee on the neck causing someone to die. So people scrutinized it. Now let me continue. But Baker reiterated and stood by the cause of death he wrote on Floyd's death certificate, and his finding Floyd's death was a homicide.
You skipped the paragraph.
Oh, did I? Excuse me. Let me go up.
Skip the paragraph.
So in your opinion, let me go up one. So in your opinion, Nelson asked, both the heart disease as well as the history of hypertension and the drugs that were in his system played a role in Mr. Floyd's death. In my opinion, yes, Baker said. But Baker reiterated he stood by the cause of death he wrote on Floyd's death certificate, and his finding Floyd's death was a homicide, which to medical examiner means his death was caused by another person and does not necessarily indicate guilt. Yes, I would still classify it as a homicide today, he said. Baker's testimony came on the 10th day of Chauvin's trial. As the prosecution nears the end of its case, Friday was a culmination of a week filled with expert testimony by not only medical experts, but also policing experts who testified Chauvin violated policy and used excessive force on Floyd. Chauvin has pleaded not guilty, blah, 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 blah. Asphyxia, this is the last part of it. Asphyxia, low oxygen, was primary mechanism in Floyd's death, expert says. The Hennepin County medical examiner's official autopsy made no mention of asphyxiation as a cause of death, which has been a key pillar in the prosecutor's case. In contrast, an independent autopsy commissioned by Floyd's family said he had died of asphyxiation and sustained pressure when his neck and back were compressed, officers cutting off the blood to his brain. Okay? That's basically it. So the independent autopsy by Floyd's family didn't even want to include that he had a bad heart, he had an enlarged heart, and that he needed extra oxygen or nothing else. But me, I'm just telling you, all of that contributed to his death. But in political circles in Black America, they only was focused on the knee and acting like only the knee did it, and it was nothing Floyd did to cause his death. But yes, swallowing fentanyl can cause you death. People are dying off fentanyl daily, and everyone knows this.
Okay, so let me respond to that real quick. That initial, in any kind of court case, there will be an initial autopsy, but if there's a second autopsy, and it finds something different, then you got to go to how the court case ended. Now, in the original autopsy in Hennepin County, was it a homicide or was it not?
No, they said it was listed
as a
what they're saying is
no. I'm about to answer your question. You said I don't know. I do. It was listed as a homicide. No, it was listed as a homicide. The cops killed him. So they said all of that you said, but at the end of it, it says homicide. And then when they went to the independent, they did take that stuff into account. They just made sure that you understood that the reason why he died was because of the asphyxiation and his heart stopped. Now, no pathologist, one of the problems with that first part of that independent autopsy is that no pathologists usually don't say things like cardiopulmonary arrest, because that just means you died. Like we all know, if you're at the autopsy, your heart stopped. That's clear. But it's the reason why your heart stopped. The second thing, when you keep saying that he swallowed drugs, there was no in the court, there was nothing there's no proof that he swallowed any drugs, and the drugs that were in his system weren't consistent with an immediate ingestion of drugs. So when you say that, so I know you get it. I know you're kind of reading into it, and I'm not gonna blame you for that. But if it's neck compression by neck, then that's what it is. Cause of death, cardiopulmonary arrest, complicating law enforcement. Even Henneman's autopsy stated that the police restraint was part of it. And then now, when you look at the two autopsies, then you got to get to the court case. The court ended in full agreement. The Hennepin County cardiac arrest contributing factors were restraint, health, and drugs. You're 100% right. Independent autopsy, asphyxia from police restraint, suffocation, nothing else.
Just for clarity.
I didn't cut you off. I didn't cut you off.
No, I'm not cutting you off.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Chief. I'm listening.
Defense medical expert, Floyd's manner of death undetermined. They didn't say it was a homicide.
In the Hennepin, this is an excerpt from it. Homicide. It says
this
homicide.
Nigga got convicted and the death is undetermined?
Yeah, it says homicide. It says cause of death. Listen. Hold on. This is an official autopsy press release dated June 1, 2020. Cause of death, cardiopulmonary arrest, complicating law enforcement subdual, restraint and neck compression. Manner of death, homicide. It says how injury occurred. Decedent experienced a cardiopulmonary arrest while being restrained by law enforcement officers. Other significant conditions: arteriosclerotic and hypertensive heart disease, fentanyl intoxication, recent methamphetamine use. Even they didn't say that he swallowed drugs, but it does say the manner of death is a homicide.
Right. Okay. You're right. There was two different medical examiners that was testifying, and
Okay.
one did say at the end homicide. You're correct about that.
Okay. So
What about the Henneman calling the office? What he say?
Hold on. It was another medical examiner that said it was undetermined and not homicide.
But the one I'm talking about, was in
Yeah,
Hennepin.
I was going to say you were right about that. You were right about that.
In Hennepin, they said, but hold on, but here's the case. In any court case, you go with the initial autopsy, you go with the second autopsy, you listen to them both, and then y'all go to court. But here's the thing: when they went to court, the final court consensus was that police restraint killed George Floyd. Health and drugs did not excuse it. That's why they went to jail. So if we look at the totality of the case and its investigation, I will not argue with you with Hennepin. You can't argue with me about it. We can disagree, but I won't argue that that's what they said, other than manner of death, homicide. You may not agree with the independent autopsy, but that's what they said, that it was asphyxiation. But the final say is what happens in court. And in court, they said that police restraint killed George Floyd.
Okay.
So how we debating this?
Okay, so Sheffrin wanted me to read that, and I read it. I just want to make sure people know that there was all kind of contributive factors. Now we can watch the documentary.
I'm gonna watch the documentary.
I'll have the discussion later. I'm done with it. Yeah. So check out the documentary, y'all. Y'all gonna be shook.
Ain't nobody watching that shit. It's over.
You don't have to watch it, Steph. I'm just saying if you don't want to
watch it. I'm saying it's over.
Check out the documentary.
Whatever you was trying to push with that documentary,
no, I'm gonna watch
it's
it.
over.
All right, and we'll talk about it later.
All right.
It is over. He was wrong as shit. He was wrong as shit. Now he running out of here. Go ahead. Bye.
Because I know it ain't nothing but
what is up with you and
and then y'all didn't hear what he said in the beginning. Y'all forgot what he said. I'm gonna bring the spray paint back. Let me bring the spray paint into this.
Thank you, Corey. Get the spray paint for his ass.
Because
y'all
forgot what he said y'all forgot what he said in the beginning while y'all entertained that whole thing, right? Y'all forgot what he said in the beginning where he said the court system is fucked up. See what I'm saying? So everything y'all talking about is all these corners. Yeah, he already poisoned the well and said the system is fucked up and political. When it comes to white police choking a black man, that's a political situation, and the courts be fucked up. See, y'all don't be listening to these niggas, bro. This will be pissing me off with y'all. Y'all don't hear these.
I wasn't even here.
Go ahead.
That's a misrepresentation of what I said. That's actually misrepresenting what I said.
So
I clearly said, I'm going to tell you verbatim what I said. I said every 4 years. I'm not talking about the court system is just screwed up. I'm not saying that. I said every 4 years, there's a political case that goes down, and it's sketchy. That means I'm saying it's a rare time of the election season, a political case to come around and it's sketchy. I'm not saying the court system's all fucked up and this and this and that. I'm saying it's a political case where people have agendas. Quote me correctly, Corey. Come on, man. I wouldn't do you like that.
I did hear him say that, but I didn't hear the other part. I gotta admit, Corey, I didn't hear that.
Yes.
I don't agree with it, but I heard it.
What was different about that I said? It's political, and the court system got some fuckery going on in it. Now, because I didn't say everything word for word verbatim, bro, y'all get the fuck out of here. You see what I'm saying? Y'all get the fuck out of here, bro. Quit playing with me. Now, what part about what I said was different than what he said? Go ahead. Somebody tell me. Go ahead.
No, it's essentially the same thing, different words. I agree. Essentially the same thing, just different words. I just don't agree with. I don't. Anytime once y'all start going into, not y'all per se, but once people start going into these grand conspiracies and all of that, I kind of like to just read exactly what it is and just go there. I just find it.
Who are these niggas?
The whole fucking beginning of the of the Hennepin autopsy falls flat on his face when they said all of that shit and then put manner of death, homicide. That's enough. I can read all of that other shit. Somebody got murdered. It's a murder. So he had you know what I mean? Motherfuckers get murdered that got heart disease, that's high, that's got drugs in their system, all this other shit. At the end of the day, that motherfucker, it said manner of death, homicide. He got murdered. Now, if they want to bring somebody else in and all of that, that's cool, but...
And the scary part about it is he read that shit. Ain't nobody read it for him. He read this shit, yo. So I said, it's over. What are we gonna watch the documentary for? He just read his own article and said this shit was a homicide by the goddamn Hennepin County medical examiner. What else is he?
The documentary is way more than just talking about.
Yeah, that's why I want to watch it, because
listen,
you said somebody else. No, yeah, you said somebody else that it wasn't. So I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that.
I wouldn't watch something if I didn't think they would like it.
I'm gonna watch it. No question. I'm gonna watch it.
Obviously, it's propaganda at this point.
It's propaganda both ways.
It's not watch a conspiracy joint.
Hey, Chief,
no, it's not. It's not propaganda. I already told you. Everything in documentary is evidence and fact-based. It's not propaganda. It's not feeling. It's not minding. You won't know until you watch it. You won't know until you watch it.
Did y'all niggas just hear the evidence?
Deep in your feelings, thinking and trying to run a narrative until you watch it.
Niggas just hear the evidence. Anything other than that is propaganda saying Eric Chauvin is not responsible. Did you get that, G-Vex?
It's not saying Eric Chauvin is not responsible. Watch the documentary.
I'm not watching that shit. You're saying he's not responsible.
You're throwing shit out there. The documentary is not saying he's not responsible. The documentary is not saying
he's not responsible.
The documentary is not saying Chauvin is not responsible.
All right,
you're wrong.
Fuck the documentary. You saying he's not responsible.
No, I'm not saying that.
So then why the fuck is we here?
You don't. You're trying to tell people about a documentary you didn't fucking watch. How stupid is that?
So what are you saying then?
If you don't want to watch the documentary, then
shit.
God damn.
Tell me.
So what I'm getting, I can read between the lines, Chef. I'm reading between the lines. So what I'm getting about the documentary is the documentary ain't exonerating Derek Chauvin, but what it does is it puts some doubt out there. It makes you start doubting all of the facts that you already read. You know what I'm saying? And it got music in it. I can guarantee you that this documentary got music in it, right? And it's got that, the horror music. Listen, Derek Chauvin in it.
Yo, you a wild nigga.
The documentary
I use these documentaries, bro. It's got the music. It's got the instrument in there. It's got the piano.
Hey, Corey.
The documentary don't have no music. It's no dramatic at all.
No, Chief.
And they just give all the information.
Hold on, Chief. Hold on, brother. I'm gonna watch it. They won't watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I had a conversation. But you know what's funny, Corey? In the first 3 minutes of that fucking documentary, it's got the exact fucking music you talking about.
The scary movie music, bro.
It's got the exact fucking music.
And then there's some dude talking with the deep voice. Well, the facts of the case, is it?
Yeah, it's got.
Again, it's not exonerating. is not made to exonerate Derek Chauvin because the documentary maker probably know that's full of shit and ain't nobody gonna watch it, right? But what it's made to do is sow doubt, right? Ooh, the system is political, and you know what I'm saying? Well, if it wasn't a presidential campaign, they wouldn't even have made a big deal out of George Floyd. He would just been a dead nigga that got choked. You know, all this old wild shit, bro. I don't even have to watch it to know what they talking about, bro. So y'all
No,
go ahead and watch that.
No, the funniest shit though is I couldn't get past the first 3 minutes because at the beginning of the documentary, you could clearly see it's him in this, and it's kind of ignorant. I don't know if it's true. I almost wanted to look it up, but I ain't feel like fucking up my algorithm. But in the store, it shows him in the store, and it says that he was drunk. And he's acting a fool. He is acting a fool in the store, being silly and shit. And but he's got a fucking banana in his hand. And I'm sitting there like, I know they didn't like, you like little shit that racists will catch on to some shit like that. So I'm like, I hope that's not what this is. So then he goes to the car, but when he goes to the car, he's in his car with 2 people when the police show up. And it's not Chauvin at this point. This is some other cop. And then, so the cop is walking to the car, and the cop opens the car door. And because he says they're moving a lot. And then they highlight it with that music that you're talking about. One of the cops, as they're walking to his truck, it says they're moving a lot. So it's almost to give you like the feeling like, well, whatever we do to this guy, be on alert because they're moving a lot. And then the cop points a gun at him while he's sitting in the passenger seat. But you can see he's either high, scared. I don't really know. Different people interact with cops differently. But he's like frantic. And he starts crying because he says, he's telling the cop, I was shot like that. And the cop was like, basically trying to figure out, like, calm the fuck down. Just put your hands. And he keeps putting his hands on his head and freaking out. But he's like, no, man, you gotta understand. That's how I got shot. And he's crying. I had to turn that shit off. Cause you could already tell, like he was going through something. He definitely going through something. So I can't. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna try to watch it. It's gonna take me a while though. I don't think I'm gonna be able to watch it just on the one account. But the main thing about that autopsy that's clear. A pathologist wouldn't use the words cardiopulmonary arrest unless they don't know how you died. They wouldn't put manner of death, homicide, and then also say cardiopulmonary arrest, because cardiopulmonary arrest is just a large word for his heart and lungs stopped. That's it. So that doesn't say anything. That's such a broad statement to then go down at the bottom and say manner of death, homicide. So I don't know. Shit like that is interesting to me. I don't know if it's interesting to y'all. But I think Chef and them might have killed the conversation because everybody is on mute. But shouts to y'all. Fed Breeze, what up, nigga?
What's the deal?
What's
This
going on,
wild
nigga?
ass thing. He basically said that nigga was gonna be a high ass nigga to the police shoulder. He was having a good day being high till them niggas pulled up. Shit.
You gotta see him in the store, bro. He's like clowning with this lady. They having fun. It looked like a normal day.
Yeah,
But
he
he
just
definitely
day being
something
high.
was wrong. Yeah, something was wrong. He was either high, because in the store owner, when they called the police, they said he was drunk. But he wasn't drunk. Or crazy thing is, or he just I don't know, bro. I'm gonna watch the documentary. I'm gonna watch it.
The man got high. He would have went home high until he met the police, bro. It is what it is.
Yeah,
No, it's a little bit of all that though. If you remember back to the time, right? They always talk about how silly he is. Now he's just a silly nigga, but then when he get high, right, he act even sillier. So obviously, like, this is just something that he does. Like, I got characters. I got homeboys that's like that, bro. That just, you go anywhere, bro, and they wow. You know what I'm saying? Even the store clerks and shit be cracking up laughing. Like, they just silly niggas. Like, you know, that's just a personality, right? But then when you add the drugs on top of that, you know what I'm saying? Now he acting, you know, real silly, right? So the you know what I mean? So it just looked a certain way. But I'm sure, like, because I know people like him. They're like, he just naturally silly anyway, like do funny ass shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? Just naturally. So then when he high and then you don't really know this guy and then he big and black, you know what I'm saying? I got a homie just like that. Big, black, and silly. And he don't realize that, bro, you big and black, bro. You can't be silly like that. Motherfuckers get scared of you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, motherfuckers.
He is a big dude.
Yeah.
George Floyd is a big dude. I didn't realize.
Bro, he grew up with Steven Jackson, bro. Steven Jackson like 6'8". They stood next.
Yeah,
they
he's a
damn near
big
neck.
ass dude. He is a big dude. He's definitely a big dude, no question.
So when you get him doing his regular personality, and then he got a little alcohol on his breath, and he probably took a hit of some drugs or something, like, you know, motherfuckers gonna be scared of him. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I done had to tell a couple of my homies, like, yo, chill out. Like, motherfuckers don't know you. You big, black, and
playing around,
scared to death. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, on a football team, you gotta tell the offensive linemen play way too fucking much. Defensive linemen, when they play, the shit ain't funny. That nigga hit you and knock you the fuck out. I done told, I know exactly what you mean. Big goofy motherfucker. I agree. But
needless to say, bro, even when Chief was saying, he's like, he was hiding and made his heart. I'm like, his heart can do all that, but it didn't stop until the police showed up. Like,
your heart can race. Your heart racing,
of course.
But goddamn, it didn't stop because it was racing. It stopped. The shit stopped. It ended. The show was over. But but my thing is, I don't understand why we can't just look at the fucking verdict. The verdict was enough.
Because like Corey said in the beginning, Chief X tried to lay it out there. The court system is corrupt, and they pretty much just railroaded old boy and didn't use, you know, the proper evidence that whatever documentary, I don't know what the fuck, I never watched it, but, you know, that's what I'm kind of getting at what he's trying to say.
Yeah, we can't overturn crimes in the Discord chat.
Oh, the court said
that's why I be saying, like we're not qualified to overturn
bro, we all
fucking full investigation, federal and local, in the Discord chat. You can't do it.
Like I said, that shit may have worked back in the day for social media, bro. But when you got 45 camera angles of this shit, you ain't getting around that. That man sitting there with a smile on his face, leaning on that man's neck. Like, come on, bro. Are you serious? You can't be serious, bro.
And that's the part I can't. You know what? I could watch Walking Dead. I could watch John Wick. I could watch all of this shit. I cannot watch Derek Chauvin. I cannot watch Derek Chauvin with his knee on his neck and George Floyd.
The fact that we had a season a couple years ago where we just was seeing online witnessing of murders, just fully, you know what I'm saying? What it's about police, bro. I can't. When I'm sitting back thinking about that, we actually, like, I know we don't see it as much no more. However, but it's like, bro, that shit was so crazy when I think about it. Like, damn, bro, it was just like every week we was watching another black kid or somebody just get killed on camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, motherfuckers don't understand how severe that was severe to me. Like, I don't know, other people can just keep it pushing, but to me, that's wild.
After the Tamir Rice thing, like my wife made sure that I didn't watch none of that shit no more. Like,
I went down there.
That took me somewhere.
In Ferguson, I went down there. Me and all my homies went down there and walked with them folks for like 3-4 days, bro. Like, that shit was real.
Yours was Tamir Rice. Y'all gonna laugh. Y'all ain't gonna laugh because somebody died. Mine was Eric Garner, bro.
Oh yeah, the Eric Garner.
Eric Garner kind of.
That was the first I Can't Breathe, homie. I think.
Yeah.
Now it was just when you saw that cop.
Yeah, for the cigarette, exactly.
Yeah, out here you'll see Slade. Like Slade will tell you, them big ass Italian, Irish cops out here in the tri-state area.
Don't do nothing but body build all day.
All day, bro.
And all this, that, and the other. Them motherfuckers are the worst cop. Like, you know, you ever see? I don't know if y'all saw the movie New Jersey Drive. That main cop that's in New Jersey Drive.
There's 1,000 of them.
There's a bunch of them.
The new one of that nigga every year.
He is the depiction of that, of all of them. Like, all the cops is crazy, but it's that particular
When
My
I
Player
was staying in
Bill.
Queens, it was a cop that was
bill.
going around fucking with niggas. They shot that nigga in the leg. Like a young nigga just pulled up on him one day, popped his ass on the block. Like, oh shit, it was crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? That shit was
Like
wild.
my
Hey,
whole
Brad,
thing.
Brad, that's another reason why I say the Mediterranean shit, because
You breaking up, Corn.
You breaking up. See, as soon as he's about to say his point, break up.
You said Mediterranean, boy. That shit. My eye came and got fuzzies.
I say that. I said that because, can you hear me now, though, Brad?
Yeah, go ahead,
we can hear
brother.
you.
Yeah. So I say that the reason why I say the Mediterranean shit, right, is another. Is more reasons than one, right? But that cop, that New Jersey Drive cop that you talking about, Brad, he's a Mediterranean nigga. That's why I say that, right? Because clearly you can see that motherfucker ain't fucking with niggas like us, right?
No,
Clear in the real world, and even them, all of them Mediterranean, them Italian looking motherfuckers, Syrian ass looking Greek motherfuckers, right? That's the police today. They fuck niggas up, and them the main niggas fucking niggas up. The bodybuilder ass Mediterranean looking niggas. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
No question. I'm telling you, though, I had a cop like that. We stole we stole a car. We committed a crime. This motherfucker took us to Kearney. Y'all don't know what this is, but you'll know in a second. They took us to Kearney, and when I tell you they beat the fuck out of us, and then at the end, after they was done beating us up, they just beat our feet with nightsticks, took our shoes and threw them bitches in the river and left us there. It didn't, and it was the same dude. It was DiCaccio. I can say his name now because he did, but it was DiCaccio. And anybody from Newark know who DiCaccio is. This nigga was crazy, bro. It's the guy that they basically his My Player Bill
they did that
is
to
what
Freddie
they
Gray
give New Jersey
in
drivers.
Baltimore too, right? Then they like put him in a van and drove crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, they just drove around crazy,
just like
and
that.
he fucking.
But those was black cops, I thought, right?
Yeah, I don't know. You got to ask what's his name.
But still, I mean, either way, I mean,
we had the Gooch. We had the Gooch. Y'all had the
yeah.
We had
we had the Caccio.
Gooch was the same nigga. Same nigga, bro.
That nigga was crazy. And the thing is, the Freddie Gray shit. I watched that documentary and look at that cop that the Punisher played in We
Are the City.
We Own the Night or some shit.
Yeah, We Own the City.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's the same. It's the same nigga. It's the same guy. If you ain't never been in the back of a police van, then you know the Freddie Gray shit terrified me because I've been in the back of a police van before. It's nothing but metal.
You know, you can't
that paddy wagon, that like motherfucker. It's all metal. The paddy wagon.
That bitch is just
all metal
fucking
back
solid.
there and sharp metal. Yeah, sharp metal that ain't gonna move when you hit it. It's not gonna move. It ain't gonna go nowhere. Your bones and shit gonna go somewhere. But it ain't gonna go nowhere.
No seatbelt.
Nothing.
But when he choked that man, cause see, like the thing is, what bothered me about Eric Garner was when he started choking him. Anybody with any sense that's been in that situation can't nobody on that scene make him stop but himself. That's how strong he is. Like none of them cops, unless they shoot him or hit this nigga with a nightstick, he's not gonna stop, bro. He's just gonna do that until he's done. And then you go back to fucking Radio Raheem and do the right thing. Like that listen, Spike Lee traumatized a generation of black folk with that scene in that motherfucking movie.
Yeah,
when he choked out Radio Raheem over some fucking batteries. So that shit ain't never gonna be. That shit's never gonna be. But there's no systemic racism. See how that works? Yeah, like we could say all of this and then somehow try to convince ourselves that there's no systemic racism.
When all that shit was going on, and now we got the camera phones and we can actually witness it ourselves. Like it made me look back growing up, like all the times I read like different police articles or different things like in the paper, and it's like we only taking their word. It's like, man, this shit could have went nothing like what is being reported like in this damn article. You know what I'm saying? It's like who knows how the amount of fucking police brutality and corruption we saw prior to, like we seeing it on camera now. Like, so imagine without the shit, bro. It's just shit crazy, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna definitely watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
I to post that shit some months ago, man. Ain't nobody watching that shit. Nobody entertained that
I'm
dumbass
gonna try my best.
George
I'm
Floyd
gonna
shit when he brought it up, bro.
Speaking of Spike Lee, that new movie he got with Denzel, that shit alright, bro.
It's not that good, bro.
I didn't like it. I ain't gonna lie to you.
A Kurosawa movie. Old black and white movie, but
A$AP Rocky was supposed to be this big old gang nigga. Where was all of his homies? It was only him and the engineer in the studio. I'm like, where's all his homies at?
Yeah, nah. I thought it was an original movie, but then when I started doing
it's a Kurosawa.
It's a remake. Yeah, it's a remake. Yeah. So I'm good. I'm good on remakes, bro. I don't need a remake. I don't need no more remakes.
That shit wasn't all that, bro. The storyline was I didn't like the storyline behind.
I mean, I ain't really been moved by Spike shit in the last 20 years since he got game, if you ask me. But it is what it is.
I kind of like that Bank movie though.
Yeah, the Bank one is all right.
The two brothers, yeah. That was good on Apple Plus. That was great. Yeah.
No, which one are you talking about?
What you talking about? The Bank called The Banker?
No. That one was good. I'm talking about the one where they robbed the bank for the diamond and shit with Denzel, and they couldn't tell who robbed the bank because of the way they did
Inside Man.
Yeah. I like the Inside Man. Man.
Yeah,
that was creative as hell how they did that shit. He was like, I'm gonna walk right out the front door, and he did.
I ain't gonna lie though. That nigga, Denzel wife in that movie, fine as a motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie about that though.
Here we go to Brooklyn, nigga.
Yeah, she's fine as a motherfucker.
That's the chick. That's Bumpy Johnson wife and Gone Home.
Mm-hmm. Fine, sister.
Oh, that was her?
Yeah.
Yo,
she also played a wife on the new Fresh Prince.
She looked different with her hair down.
Wow.
She also played a wife on the new Fresh Prince. She played Vivian Banks on the new Fresh Prince.
Yo, she looked way different. I would have never.
I think her name like Cassandra Freeman. I think that's her.
I would have.
Oh, the light skin Vivian. That's the light skin.
Yeah. Oh, you said the light skin Vivian. This nigga.
Yeah.
You know, the first Vivian Banks was chocolate.
Dark
you know
skin.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, that wasn't Vivian.
Yeah, the
on the new Fresh Prince, the one with Peacock.
No, the Bumpy wife in which series y'all talking about?
Godfather Harlem.
No, Bumpy wife in Godfather Harlem was not the second Vivian. No,
I'm talking about
y'all go look that up. That's an old woman. I would have never been like, oh, she fine. She old as hell.
No, the new Fresh Prince.
Oh, the new
Fresh Prince. Yeah, it's called Bel Air.
I ain't even watched the new Fresh.
Yeah, it's called Bel Air. I mean,
I ain't never seen
that. I ain't never watched that bullshit, man.
I ain't about to ruin.
It ain't really for us.
Ruin my childhood watching that dumbass shit.
It's actually not that bad, bro. I'm gonna be real.
I ain't doing it.
It's a little more serious than our Fresh Prince, bro.
I'm stuck.
It's a big pass. Don't get me wrong. I would never suggest.
Hey, motherfuckers don't understand. Carlton used to be flying in a motherfucker on the Fresh Prince. Like they thought Will Smith was the fly one, right? Carlton used to be killing the game with the polo.
Yeah, he had that.
He killed the game with the polo.
The cardigans and all that.
The cardigans. Let's go, Sid.
Yeah.
Niggas don't really know about the
cashmere polo.
Yes, sir. But not in the new Fresh Prince, Carlton be doing coke and shit, all type of wild shit. This shit crazy.
Oh,
yeah, that's why I ain't watching it, bro. I only want one.
The new Fresh Prince, Carlton ain't the same Carlton, bro.
You can't have Carlton doing coke, bro. That's a no-go.
Nah, like to me though, like what I'm saying, like that'd be like making a new Martin. Like,
but it ain't wrong. I will say it's not bad though. I will say that it's not terrible. You know what I'm saying? I ain't suggesting watching it, but my niece
Jeffrey the Butler smoking niggas.
Yeah, Jeffrey like a goon. Jeffrey a goon in the new one. Jeffrey going out to find niggas.
That nigga got
Fuck you
Jeffrey a
talking about?
goon. And the
And
dude that
everything and
played Jeffrey, that's
everything
actually
y'all
my
saying
homeboy
is
too.
confirming I can't watch that shit.
Nah, that's good. Bro, just say that's the new dynamic. That's the new dynamic. Jeffrey a goon, Carlton do dope.
Oh shit!
Yeah. See how they take a good thing and fuck it up? See how they do it?
Yo, I remember a Slave.
I
One
mean, they
time I
make them
went to
look
the
bossed
movies.
up. Though. I ain't gonna lie, they look like some ballers, bro. They taking over the city and shit. They doing a whole bunch of shit on there.
Yeah, they
I went
totally
to the movies.
style, yeah, of some of them characters.
Bro, I went to the movies one time recently, probably like the last 2 months. And I looked at all the movies that was out and all the movies that was coming up. All them shits was movies that had came out 20 years ago.
Facts.
Yeah.
Like it's never like no new ideas. It was like sequels
Oh yeah,
to
remake
shit from
is
like
the
a long
way.
like the
Original
remake
movies
shit
don't
is
do
going
well at
crazy.
all.
They going OD with it.
But because that's because original movies don't do well, man. So these companies are like, man, I'm trying to make the bread, so we got to do all remakes, man. That shit crazy.
Harrison, that's what Harrison Ford doing. He doing all his old shit over. He doing all
But
his old.
these people own the rights to the old movie, so they just redoing it.
But I'm just saying, like I said, original movies, bro, they
shit
don't
lazy,
do
man.
well, bro. It's
That
crazy,
shit
man.
lazy.
It's like people don't really like these originals no more. I don't get it.
Yeah, bro, they
Oh,
running
they-
out of ideas for these damn movies, bro. They came out with every
All right,
And maybe
I got a hot
need AI.
I got a
They
hot
need
take. I
AI
want to
now.
see if y'all riding with me with this. But sinners on the
Hold on, DQ. Before you start speaking, brother.
Damn.
Would you mind having that conversation